Yo guys, what is up? We are back and live. थोड़ा सा लेट हो गया हूँ मैं आज अभी आया हूँ जस्ट तुरंत मैंने चेंज किया और तुरंत बस आया ही हूँ मैं अभी आया जस्ट अभी सुबह कदम ही रखा मैं और बताओ क्या हालचाल है सबके आवाज डे मैच चालू हो चुका है पहले मैं अपने वो लगा देता हूँ ये सब तो होता रहेगा इंट्रोडक्शन
That's the scary part, right? If he's able to get that off on the line, need to shut him down. Otherwise, he will run roughshod all over you there.
He absolutely will. So much pressure for these Wolves players.
No,
the style that they play, that slow, structured Valorant. I think it befits staying calm in these situations, but GB, this is going to be a big one for them.
Oh yeah, Toronto! Are you ready for the upper bracket final? And let's go ahead and send it over to two of the greatest of all time on the mic. It's Pansy and Hypoc.
Thank you so much, GB and the desk. Yeah, Mike, I think we have to kind of touch on what the desk was talking about there. This stylistic head-to-head is something to be excited for.
And it is, yeah, it's almost, I mean, talking in the lead-up to this, talking about a similar play style, but actually PRX almost have the recipe to break apart what Wolves have kind of made the cornerstone of their playbook, right? This slow creeping default, looking for a gap somewhere. PRX are the team that time and time again are able to come up with ideas on the fly to really disrupt that sort of gameplay.
And again, for PRX, I feel like everyone's looking like they're the underdogs in this. Oh,
which is crazy, right?
Hey, do you remember them in Champs Finals, yeah? They lost out in the perennial second place team, sure, but they are a grand finals quality team. They have to prove it once again today, up against probably the biggest Cinderella story run we've had in a long time.
Wolves का वो है डेब्यू कर रही है और इतना अच्छा खेल रही है इस वक्त एकदम ही फालू
bit of presence shown outside C initially. Divide actually taking a ton of damage there. He's got a back lane respect this now. 22 HP.
ठीक ले भाई बिना डरे ऐसी की तैसी
was
भैंस की
confirmed
हां
on the side of Wolves, but certainly something to consider as the round progresses. He's actually relinquished all control here.
I mean, if it carries on in this fashion, Wolves have got a lovely beginning, and obviously for PRX, it looks like they want to try and clear some of those question marks, work behind this. It's taken a lot of utility though. See, the Paranoia went through, the Haunt went through, a lot of their kit got invested to clear that.
Big retake tools off the table here. Wolves rightfully so. Must have known that they found a point of weakness here, but why you tucked into a lurk? Does he get dug out? Forsaken. Lazy clearance on the first hit. Jing next one.
Yeah, look.
Oh, bhai 1 HP मार दिया.
Almost fine. The second's ridiculous. And now they've got a comfortable
Bro, they are playing good aim
to clear out towards rubble.
भाई डिवाइ बहुत लो है भाई.
Go back in, guns in hand. Nice from something, needs some more. A lot of bodies to clear just on the site. Wants to just cycle back up. See if that baby has got to. Oh, it's lovely.
भाई सिर्फ जूसी मरा भाई एक ही मरा भाई पेंटिंग देखने में बहुत मजा आने वाली है मैं बता रहा हूँ बहुत मजा आएगा.
Convincing start to kick off Lotus, and these sort of set plays towards rubble, exactly what I'm talking about. When PRX try and find the timing, it's a massive investment. It looks a little clunky, sure, because they don't find anything, but it's to dig out players like Spring, potentially Lysor, somebody trying to backfill that space. Actually, even this scenario, why you? They did try and dig him out, but it's a lazy clearance from Forsaken, and Jing just couldn't stand up to the task.
And I do want to kind of highlight something that was discussed earlier in the day, the fact that these at one point have been scrim partners too. Some real awareness between these two sides. So I'd love to see if we continue to see this, these gaps being found, these moments to potentially find ways to pressure each other. So looking at this purchase, plenty coming out for Wolves and a very light reinvestment here for PRX, so just that Sheriff for Divide. Otherwise, all classics. And so far, you're going to be looking at Wolves going through the protocol list. Mike Wright, try and keep this clean. They can afford to lose Spring, but they probably wouldn't want to.
Sure. I mean, the riskiest rounds versus PRX are these anti-ecos. Spring, not good for the first hit, Forsaken. From round one. Sheriff recovered though, so almost a calculated loss on the side of Wolves.
And again, it's huge information. You've seen maybe two, perhaps a couple more players over there. You're going to read that as a stack. And they've already got pretty much the green light and a very aggressive post-plant hold. They want to stake their claim in some area of this. Make it harder work
No,
for
no,
PaperX.
bro.
Make them invest a
भाई
little
ये
bit
literally
more.
one paper X
I
two
don't
भाई
mind that at all, as long as they play
ये
together.
cheating
They
और
can
हर
get
बार
risky. Oh, you got
ये
locked
जिन
in on that
ओ
one.
भाई
Juicy
उसने
now.
कितना
As
सही
we're
थी
in
भाई
2v2 and
चंपी
Juicy's down low. This is
अपने
the
समथिंग
danger
की
of
भाई
PaperX. You're never quite
ये
out
2v2
of the
कर
woods.
दिया भाई
Forsaken gonna get a nice little upgrade here too. Juicy's done really well to fight Jing, but Forsaken needs 4 to do this again.
Oh, almost bro.
Unreal already. This sort of
भाई
explosive
क्या
play in the
मैच
second
हो रहा है
round.
पहली
Like I said, there's
Wow,
always a
bro.
threat in these anti-ecos for
क्या
PaperX.
ही था
They have
literally
again some smiles on the stage. A sigh of relief.
bro everybody is gonna enjoy this match
Fat BB, ever the hero so
बहुत
far in
ज़्यादा
Toronto.
OP match हो गया
Able to bail him out versus Forsaken.
Oh,
I mean,
you're a lucky boy there.
very, very.
he was just lucky bro he was just being lucky.
Come back into this now with a broken purchase. See what? Opportunity here for Spring to do some work with a scope.
मजा
That's
आया
why
भाई
that
मजा
why
आया
you and Lysol just down on
बहुत
pistols.
मजा आया
And expect Wolves to maybe try and pick up a kill here on the back. And expect Wolves to maybe try and pick up a kill here on the back of some PaperX aggression.
No, I quite like the conditioning early on as well, Mike. It's been this kind of constant lead through towards C, a little bit of default straight through, but they haven't really tested this A side. So again, if you're PaperX, maybe starting to get a bit of a read into that as well, something you're going to start reacting to. Again, you look at the spread here so far, depending on just that omen cycling those smoke. So a lot of pressure, but already re-clear comes in, doesn't quite catch YU towards middle. And Batman wants that information.
Fumble though from YU, really deep.
cool cool
Look back into that, they're reading PaperX rotating away, so it might just be
crazy
a committed B here. So Pac-Man will be called upon.
see it's an attacking side
Also away by the
ठीक है
utility anti. Juicy up close and personal. He's looking at the
oh almost spammed him bro
But Forsaken gets involved. Nice damage on the first, but a quick trade. The pressure now starting him out.
Nice.
Spike left loose. The PaperX clearing out the B
Very
side.
bad.
Sufat BB a little
Easy.
too late to the party here with 25 seconds. There's a firing squad around that corner. There's this Haunt in 10, but look at the timer. Difficult
मैं बहुत
situation.
अच्छा मैच है आज बहुत ही ज़्यादा
And there it is. Comfortable in the end, but PaperX handled
गन
that
बदल ले
well.
गन बदल ले वैंडल उठा ले
BB positioned as the late round piece here. Was played out of this because I'm sure it was in Juicy. It was caught on the reload here.
Down B.
Really rough timing for him.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it
mean, it's
was.
just nobody to, well, comfortably that can swing onto that angle to bail him out.
वही बहुत ट्रेंडी का सामना
Even there, I mean, see maybe another consolation potentially to find. But just didn't find it. Juicy already on the showstopper here, so going to see him fire their stinger into round 4.
I'll find you.
Expect too much of a pace shift here, but I mean, on the talking about early round protocols here,
Yes.
PaperX
Enjoy it.
dealing with the turret nice and early here. That's your set piece out. Juicy
Oh!
been shut down.
Oh, हमें मार दिया भाई
No play to bring out off the back of contact. It's stunning, and it's rewarded them 2 kills. This is that evolution to PaperX we love now getting to watch, right? It's not just that mechanical talent, that aggression. They have these little set pieces they like to run every now and then, and it wasn't overly
that was
complex.
fucking
And that was a
Boy.
mistake. What's that? Catching them asleep at the wheel there, Mike. That's going to haunt them. And an overstep.
क्या
Unnecessary.
एक
This feels like a fumble, Mike. Now, it looks like Pac-Man might be the saving grace to this, though.
Lysol's read it.
Lysol has read it. Oh,
भाई
he's
यार
dominant.
हो जाता
This is a fumble for PaperX and a gutting one because it was a brilliant start.
फैन
Two
ही
players
है
caught sleeping, and the spike is there as well. All they needed to do was reinforce that hole. Wolves.
आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है
Able to dissect that setup just outside C.
30 seconds left.
Actually find themselves a plant here. YU down
Lockdown.
15 HP. Get the lockdown off this as well, you're right.
Okay, a little bit of util as well for YU, but it's Devi wading back through towards the site. Problem is there's utility in the way. Gonna find it tricky. Position now given away, and you can see Lysol should be the checkmate. There's that layer of util from YU. Isolated and alone. And a devastating mistake there from PaperX. Credit to Wolves for re-engaging, but they cannot be dropping the ball like that.
Was it the timing on the slow? I mean, this is exactly the sort of thing I talked about before this map started. PaperX being aggressive, picking apart this slow default and look for control. But here, I mean, both players, smoke drops. Yeah, I mean, that's just...
But both, yeah.
That is outrageous to see somebody caught off guard like that. On top of the box.
And you know what? Insult to injury as well. They're up out their seats.
Yeah.
They're giving it. 'Cause you know that's the ones that are going to tilt you. But back in, PaperX have a very strong mental. They're not going to break off that. Alex might, but they won't.
क्या push आ गया
PaperX needs
भाई?
to kind of reignite a little bit of that focus. You can't get lazy in this. You've got to stay
एक भी नहीं
lethal.
पड़ा भाई.
Something.
वो 1
That's a
HP
little bit of
उठाओगे.
early work, but can be warded away. And we've seen these slower defaults coming out from Wolves, doing the diligent work, right? They've been doing what is necessary.
We even hear damage trade-off that come out on top. Weaken something. See, the purchase is not there for PaperX. And Prowler will force something even deeper here. Oh, how do I send through? Juicy's potentially going to be... Oh, actually, the TP comes across from Lysol, so I still have somebody back up initially. And that's Lockdown invested here, fully respecting this anti-eco once again. They're aware of the threat of that previous round. Yeah,
You've got to. I mean, PaperX, you said it right. Those are the sort of rounds that sometimes they look the scariest in almost. But for now, Wolves finding stability here in the post plant. They've still got to keep it in mind that there is danger. Plenty through Waterfall. 4-1 split on the retake now. Juicy turns attention. Smokes great from them. Late on the spray. Pac-Man has got to. Maybe a chance. It feels like it's dwindling. These opportunities passing by for them, as it looks like 4-1 will be on the board. Not wait and see a timeout soon enough here, as something's on one. Got to get locked in, as this has passed them by here. Silver lining, the best they can hope for as Wolves off to the ideal start. Mike, look, I know all of us have been enjoying this Wolves run. I think most of us thought this is where it probably ends. But you could argue someone said that about Gen G2, but
yeah.
at 4-1, I'm paying attention.
I mean, I remember coming into that Gen G series thinking, if they could pull this off,
That's the one.
because they still effectively had a lifeline in terms of dropping.
Yes.
There's no elimination on the line. And even here now, it would be such a big sigh of relief to escape that once more. 4-1 to kick off Lotus here. PaperX, I mean, you don't ever really humble PaperX. They will continue pressuring like this. Odin investment here from Forsaken, though, may lead you to believe it's a slower round. TP's actually stuck here, Lysol. Bold in approach.
And that was pinged so quickly as well. It looked like so aware of this. And whatever the set plan was, feels like PaperX read that.
Well, I think it's on the back of seeing 2 or 3 bodies swing out from B there that maybe they feel like the extremity is going to be the weaker side of the hold, but Forsaken shuts that down.
Certainly not, but a 3v5, I want to see discipline from PaperX here. I don't want to see fumbles. I don't want to see mistakes.
Great isolation.
It certainly was. Now, Forsaken is going to do some good chip damage as well. Look at CUFAT Baby down on only 26. Spring's position given away. Look where the spot. Oh! What is that? Ridiculous. And a 2v3 is not impossible.
ये क्या हो गया?
So they are just
अपनी तरफ से
gunning
एकदम
it,
उनकी
like
stream
they
थी.
are running their little legs off straight towards C. They're going to leave one behind. YU,
Actually, the tap of the spikes. Drawn out the ultimate from Divide.
I mean,
Nightfall here from
30
the
seconds
plant
left.
as well.
Oh!
halving. This is now getting really dangerous, but YU set up for motion, no. Divide, very diligent and nice from PaperX. They pull it
PaperX.
together there. You're starting to see a little bit of that synergy shining.
And the composure as
PaperX,
well.
bro.
Don't overinvest in this early round aggression. Able to peel away really quickly, and credit to Forsaken. I think potentially something up towards Evan. There was a couple of people charging out, like he said, instantly pinged. And you can't really fault the approach here, but bold to stick a TP into the back lines.
And it got close, but I like seeing those fundamentals come together for PaperX though, right? Doubling up, even in that chaos of potential plant on towards that B side. No, they pop the ult, they still stay very close. And credit to Divide, I know it's only 1 kill, but him catching YU basically keeps them safe. Otherwise, it's to this kill right here from Divine. I find that to be the most imperative of them all. Very heads up work. Any feeling they would try to have left a player behind, inserted a player.
Something कर रहा है भाई.
Still not fussed though, apparently. Still chilling.
I mean, you got to be happy leading 4-2 here.
Yeah.
These two teams are enjoying, literally enjoying.
Back to the drawing board though here. Well, as close to a full purchase here as Lysol down on the Guardian. Wolves, Forsaken actually tagged up there. I'm not sure if he's actually confirmed any damage on the side of Wolves. Activity once more as well, and active clearance out past Mound.
This could be nasty. Actually sees, and the pain shell is perfect! G gets out to
It's a 2 for 2.
How the hell did they get 2 back?
भाई 2v2 कैसे भागा भाई?
Say almost favouring PaperX in that regard, but something going to be played in here.
Oh, that take shot, bro.
Mechanically sharp as ever. Trying to read what they wanted. Similar scenes to before though. CFAT PB and YU. Trying to work the map here. 2v3.
Yo, सब बहुत कौन use कर रहे हैं?
Okay, testing.
30 seconds left.
Okay, that's...
Enemy
Oh,
remaining.
I mean, they're
nice.
playing such high risk,
Spike
Mike.
down,
It scares the life out of me sometimes. 20 seconds and a 1v2. Divine Forsaken. Where are we off to now? 14 seconds. His options are so limited.
10 seconds left.
They're both here. Surely not. Yeah, he's got to go for it. No chance. Well handled by PaperX, closing in on the scoreline.
Easy.
So you've got to look for that composure again, building up a little bit of a cushion in terms of the finances. That's where you look towards some of these more sloppy kills towards the end of the round. Again, Jing
30 seconds
finding
left.
2 here to open.
One
Beautiful
enemy
little trap piece outside B.
Easy, bro.
Wolves actually going to be the ones to pump the brakes a little bit. I'm at round 8 again. Decent sample size, I guess, already in the first half here. Maybe a little bit of an adjustment towards the latter rounds. See, no purchase going to be available here for Wolves, so ideally looking towards round 9 here in terms of any game plan adjustment. And I guess actually in that regard, the first time PaperX have really been able to catch their breath.
It has been kind of in their face. Credit to PaperX for being able to learn on the fly. Again, this kind of like 6th and 7th round obviously have been the ones to give them the stability here. But I do want to see what the reaction is from Wolves. Again, it does feel like that almost no-go zone once you've got that Odin spam coming down. It's not as lethal as it could be. I mean, if you throw in a Viper with it, right? We've seen what that can do. But still, as it stands, it's kind of cut off those options towards A, it feels like, kind of pressuring back towards B, those C hits. But it's the re-aggresses from PaperX. Very little fear, even in those high-risk scenarios. We're a bit more used to it, I guess, at this point, and so will they be now. At 3 to 4, just Sheriffs. And a couple of classics.
I mean,
Plenty of ults.
bigger picture-wise, both of these teams have so many reps this year on Lotus. I think it's 14 for PaperX and 11 or 12
I
for
support PaperX.
Yeah.
So even here on the attacking half, I mean,
I'm
to come out
support
with A
PaperX.
lead,
पूरे
no matter
tournament
what
में
it
ठीक
is,
है. G2 versus Fnatic.
Gotta
I
feel
really
really
want
good about
G2 to
yourself.
lose.
so we'll have to ride this out on
Hello.
a handful of Sheriffs. Something going to tuck himself in between these smokes.
Oh, it's nasty. And Divide drawing all eyes on him. It is only pistols, but it's Divide's up there. Sorry, something. You don't even get to play.
जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ी
Easily
भाई.
done.
Divide was
Happy with that. Confidence builders
flawless
there.
here.
A little bit of a reset here in between ahead of this buy round, and actually, we'll have the pit. CFAT BB has his ultimate. Juicy, just one away as well. Didn't even need the second
No.
piece of this setup.
One enemy remaining.
Building some confidence here. Bit of a Cobra round 4 Divide, who's actually leading
Yeah.
order 10 and 4, an early 3K, I believe, in one of the rounds.
Ooh, look at this stack. They're in the right place here, Mike. How far do PaperX go in this? Deep flash at it. Look at this outrageous approach. Oh, it's been
Wait, what?
absolutely red. Jing gets backhanded there, and they couldn't close down on any of the kills.
I mean, 2
Yes,
things
yeah.
on the reveal.
भाई एक आधा तो
Show
ले
how
सकता
much
था.
that box just sponged. but no damage
Face your fear.
coming through. It's only really Fat BB who's taking a hit here down to 35 HP. 9 might actually be a bit of a red herring.
How much can Patman be expected to do here? That's a huge ult as well, right?
Has to basically hit the
And
panic
Forsaken,
button.
wait, Forsaken!
Oh,
Nice.
It's so smart. As soon as that Nightfall caught how many? 4 players? Instantly went for it. Now, not to beat, Wolves 2 heads up for that. And the dust hasn't even settled really, but the rotations are here. Device back over. He was solid before this nice high-low setup. Be very difficult to break. One not there, Paranoia ready, there it is, forces them off. Spring, they seem so prepared for these holds. They've seen Patman as well. Position now
30
given,
seconds
and
left.
look at YU.
Well, he's got so much space to play
God,
into.
his lurk is so nasty. And at this point, they want to pivot, they want to go back towards B. It does put in towards something's hand. Spring.
Oh my!
Gorgeous from Spring. Lurks on lurks, but something still stands.
Spring played
Boy,
it, bro.
halfway
Spring
through,
literally
they're
played it.
back
That
towards
was
C.
fucking fire
Safety
round.
on
bro.
that C
Fire.
site. You don't fancy walking into something like this. So the plant's in and
Fire
he's left
round.
in a 1v4.
Make an honest go of this here. You can see on the X-ray YU already wrapping him. He's got a turret here to play contact off as well. Might even just be able to pop something in the back of the head. No. We'll get the sound cue regardless. I think now relaying that information. Yeah, that comes through.
God, his positioning.
Yeah, this is just, again, probably sitting back and watching this, Alex not going to be
Yeah,
happy
yeah,
about
yeah.
this spray into the smoke.
Urakuna,
It's
urakuna,
begging
urakuna.
something to
Salud.
walk on it.
Yep.
And Spring just comes alive.
And it feels like this was a whole book in one round, right? Chapter by chapter. At this beginning, the box apparently being on Wolves' side. And then you had the TP coming in, you had the Nightfall coming out. This all happened. All of this was in the same round. And again, that Paranoia being just tilted up, it felt like they were so aware. There's the walk on the
Patman's on
smoke.
a reload.
Spring loader.
So Forsaken fully committed towards that. They're both spamming into this. I mean, there's an opportunity to potentially bait into that. One person sprays,
Oh my god,
but
angle there.
something off rip here, round 10.
Timeout seeming to work well, at least for these early couple of exchanges, right? Something's want of space and when it's played towards bound is fine, but you've started to see how Wolves are approaching this.
You never see PaperX really relent in that
No,
regard.
no.
It will continue, and that's where they catch teams off guard, where it's like, yeah, your aggression
Surely
hasn't
now.
worked 4 rounds in a row. No, we're coming again, don't worry.
That 5th time, it'll work. And now we're seeing a bit of a tempo switch up from Wolves too. Very, very slow, holding here, waiting for that re-aggress, which is coming. And again, they're so prepared, Mike. They've got the PRX playbook and they understand it well. Still got a handle of players on the other side. Great shot from Batman, but it's traded. And the numbers
Batman?
simply so
That's
advantageous.
unsecured.
A quick rotate off the back of once again, YU space.
It's always the one to backfill these sort of plays.
Ooh, tricky. Still not easy on this though, is it?
No.
It's.
Oh!
Come on! How is that fair? But look at once again, if you don't
Okay,
see him on the
another
side,
one.
you know where to be looking. Slow and steady, he herds them closer. They need a plant though, 17 seconds, and YU on his walkabout. Divide dead! And now the plant on the line though, Forsaken could speed up here. Punish the plant, but no, can't quite catch him!
Oh भाई, nice try.
Again!
उसका साले का लर्क भाई, उनको एक बार लर्क देखने
Beautiful.
पड़ेंगे.
This is stunning!
Blow for blow, this exchange is beautiful to just watch from the minimap. YU threading the needle once more. Oh.
पिक्सल दिख रहा है भाई, पिक्सल बस एक.
But again, it's a similar thing. PaperX, they lose one, they stack up 3 to actively re-clear that space. And ultimately, again, it feels like it's their demise in this round because of YU. Now sitting at 11 and 5, leading the board for Wolves. Almost the executioner getting plenty of shots to the back of the head.
Oh yeah. And it was impressive. Again, this kind of, it feels like it came out of that timeout as well. They've clearly got a game plan in mind of how they wanted to approach this, and it's
Yeah,
worked.
I mean, because they're reading it perfectly. That, again, this scenario, First Blood comes through, they know PaperX are going to re-clear. So there's going to be one, potentially two other lanes on the map that are totally open for YU to walk into.
It's very impressive to watch because PaperX are a really hard to handle team. You only have to look at the names they've taken down to get to this point, right? It makes perfect sense. Liquid, Sen, G2. I mean, they're a dangerous team. You know, if you want to talk about, you know, all these kind of, you know, intelligent teams, they play that, you know, good quote-unquote Valorant. They've fallen for this, but Wolves have come in very prepared. Maybe just, you know, very, very ready for what PaperX like, understand their tendencies.
Prepared, yes, but actually refining some of the things that we've seen them adapt here in Toronto,
True.
which is actually what's so refreshing to see, again, on a dream run like this, an underdog dark horse, but actually improving game by game. Upsets along the way, sure, but actually showing they've got their heads screwed on.
Yeah, it's very impressive. Now for PaperX, so once again, you kind of go into the archives, right? As much as everyone likes to look at these guys as underdogs, they've had to rebuild. That is true. Bringing in Patman was fantastic. It worked. We've all seen the difference in their playstyle as of late. They're starting to look much, much better overall. But these guys have sat in finals. These guys have been in Champions finals. They know what this sort of pressure's like. They are never going to be the underdogs in my mind. They're too talented for it. So as it stands, they need to adapt here.
Just look what's happened here as well. PaperX already drawn a player across. I mean, Divine now reconsidering, but Spring. Look at the pressure up towards Tree. Right, again, counter three, almost caught one here. YU now. Again, shows presence on the other side. So Ice towards the minimap, look what happens. Immediately PaperX looking to isolate the weaker side of this default, but they pick up the pace towards A.
I like the intention, actually, I really do. But the problem is the stall out's fantastic from PaperX. Denying that space being taken freely. They're here quickly, pop up the ult from something. Information galore in 25 seconds. We are now at pressure stations. Forsaken down on 30, has to respect the paint shell. A spray through the smoke here doesn't land, but something does. They're dwindling in numbers. Sufat, BD, and Spring, the last two standing, and they are cornered here. This adjustment from PaperX.
Oh, what a clip!
Stunning from them. They worked it so well.
Now that is a beautiful recovery, considering what happened elsewhere. It was paranoia, showstopper, so much thrown towards YU. And in that situation, Wolves just kind of need to go, you know, 1 for 2 in terms of approaching A site. They do that. PaperX still come back.
This is really nice for PaperX. Again, even seeing that discipline start to an extent, right? That dose of discipline at the beginning, the second contact's made.
A sprinkle of discipline.
That's as much as we're going to get. That's as much as we're going to get. But honestly, I like that though. And again, those quick rotations, starting to read what Wolves are doing, identifying YU where he was. And yeah, the trap was there, but even those rotations coming in so quick. Back into the mix of things, a buy for both sides, still lacking for some areas on PaperX's side. You're going to see that Guardian still in the hands of Divide. And a stack up from Wolves. And on the other side, Forsaken, not too far, a clear towards Mound, and a wanted punish. You can see they're starting to read this maybe Mound pressure, trying to maybe toy with those expectations off of that fade utility.
They kind of know Forsaken's the key stakeholder in terms of those set pieces outside C. Trying to shut him down here. Again, beautiful read or assessment, I guess, of the previous situation.
And some people may look at these two teams and see them as just those mechanical monsters, but this is a really cerebral game so far.
For sure, yeah.
Seeing these rotations on rotations, these adjustments.
Oh, भाई उसकी जो सामने से निकल गया.
And now a moment of quiet here.
That could slow things down potentially.
Yeah, they're not able to kind of pre-take, I guess. The plant's going to come in. Now this should encourage movement here. Just going to kind of eat the Prowler, still close range, still able to use the shorty just fine. Weapon's not right and the knife's not ready. So a 3v3 in the post. Look at the position from YU. That is, excuse me, coming from Sufat BB. He is still on the way, but they've still got to slow things down. YU does well. Lightsaw still has to hold ground here, and now the silence becomes deafening. The position becomes questioned. They don't know where he is, but they're going to hazard a guess. Sufat BB does well on one. Draws to fire off the defuse. Just needs to keep his cool here. This would be everything for him, trying to play to the time. Play to the clock. And play him like a fair dog.
What a play, bro. Huge.
This guy, time and time again, looks so composed in the clutch. And closes out a 7-5 half here, Lauren. Fantastic stuff from Wolves.
Huge.
This has been an exceptional game so far. Just brilliant from both sides. And again, on surface, you may have thought, it's not going to be this, really cerebral
They
matchup.
also
This has been a
PRX
wondrous affair.
lost this round, but
He has.
बहुत ही अच्छा था भाई
Any
वो.
sort of taster here towards the second half. Don't go anywhere, we'll find out very
Fire
shortly.
round.
We will, because we do have a bit of a treat as well coming up. We do have the one and only Mixwell standing by for us. So that will be going to in just a second. So I can't wait to hear from him. He's been in these scenarios. Let's see how that feels from the other side.
Well, one of the perks of being here live during finals weekend is being able to run into legends such as Mixwell, who's co-streaming here from the venue now. Welcome back to Canada. You've been here before. What do you think about the crowd so far?
कैसी हो?
I think the crowd is one of the loudest I've ever seen, to be honest. I travel to a lot of tournaments in VCT, so they are doing a great job.
Yeah, it's very exciting to be among them now. You have a little bet when it comes to Wolves. Can you explain it to everybody what happens if Wolves win this event?
I wasn't familiar with their game. At the start of the tournament, I said that if Wolves wins the event, I'm gonna go bold. So now I'm afraid I need PRX to win today.
Toronto, what are the chances, do you think, of him going bold? Come on, are Wolves gonna win this event? Oh, it's not looking good for you, Mixwell. It's not looking good. Now, some of the players on stage, we've really seen their personalities. Sufat, BB Forsaken, they're on their feet. They're hyping up the crowd. As a former player who also enjoys that atmosphere, how important is it to have that hype man on your team?
I think it's really important, especially when they are down. Some games, Wolves were down and Sufat brought Juicy back, for example. And I think it's crucial. I think that you have to play with the crowd, you have to enjoy the moment, you have to be in the moment. And Wolves, especially, they are enjoying it a lot. And a lot of people want to cheer for them as well because of that energy. And now I like them. Even though I might go bold, I like them.
All right, we shall see. I hope you do go bold at the end of this event. Thank you very much, Mixwell, for joining me. And let's see if PRX can maybe save him in the second half.
The one thing I will absolutely agree with is this crowd has been amazing. For both teams as well.
But the second thing I will say is actually referencing back something we were talking about in the cast the other day. We do see the econ report here from Coinbase. Again, very evenly contested first half here. Why are you the ones to really pull ahead here for Wolves, but also Divide on the other side of things.
Yep.
But just to come back to that same point, again, the resilience. Juicy the other day, an absolute stinker of a first half.
Yeah, really
But
struggled.
again, the vibes never changed on stage. You could see maybe hints of frustration coming through, but that's where players like Sufat, BB really pay dividends in terms of a team's mental.
I mean, we talk about the sixth man, right? Being that crowd behind you to get you back going.
You almost need a conductor actually from the stage to be able to actually channel that back into getting a team back online, and Wolves certainly have tapped into that here in Toronto.
All right, PRX now on the attack, 5-7.
Yeah, Divide on top, baby.
Headliner.
Yes.
A big player in big games too. Don't forget
Yeah.
what this man can do. 3
Divide with the
critical
3.
kills, and a stark reminder of who PRX can be.
We dictate the pace now. You can't sit back in the default.
Yeah, baby.
We'll bring the fight to you. Now, why you in spring?
Oh, should have been.
Left now and a
Sale
1-5.
ace to rally.
An ace
Chor.
needed. The Jing gonna shut down any
Nice.
hope of
What a round, guys. Divide
kicking off the
with
second
3K.
half with a flawless round.
अलग ही
victory.
And you're right,
Jigra.
I think what you said, controlling that tempo, making their fights their own. Hard to handle on all occasions.
या तो भाई फोन उठा दो या तो रील देखने लगता हूँ कुछ भी इम्पोर्टेंट हो रहा होगा रील देखने लगता हूँ
PRX are gonna dial into that. And actually, really, I guess that we've asked this before of Wolves to kind of stabilize a little bit in the second half and
इंडिया का भी मैच चल रहा है अच्छा खेल के इंडिया
really
बैठे
get to grips with what their opponent's going to try and achieve here. Is again, no secrets on the way in from PRX. Stack misplaced here, so his second successful approach towards A. Hopefully.
Yep. And I getting looked towards Divide here, 2 away from his ult so early on. I mean, that could be there for the bonus, right? Huge.
It was like, yeah, his third 3K or something
One
in the
off
map
now.
so far.
बंद ना मान रहे
massive to the attacking side. That could be lovely for them to have in the back pocket. And something that Wolves will have to deal with.
Coming to your first buy round, to have that ultimate available is brutal. Wow.
Nice.
A response found.
Easy, Tiger. We shouldn't get more dangerous than this. Stop it. Stop it. Jing and Forsaken keep this in control.
Oh!
What has gone on? Forsaken left in a 1v2. Come on, Forsaken, surely you keep this safe. Backpedaling away, trying to
Right click on it, yeah.
Never been this close. See that baby forced to move. But that's got way closer.
भाई ये इको राउंड की
Down
कैसे
to a
खराब
Red
कर
Bull
सकते हो
clutch
अपना?
here. Just one rifle retained. Now you're almost relying on Device
अच्छा
ultimately
नहीं था भाई.
the turning point here. But Paper X are able to get
आपको दो किल मिल गया,
purchase
आसानी
together,
से मिल
Jing.
गया इसके भाई बढ़िया.
Judge, but I saw finding so much value here. Jing.
Bro, Alex,
Pressure check
bro.
required for
Yeah.
Alex.
Sometimes
We'll get the heart rate
sucks.
monitors out next time. Now, again, keep in mind they do have Device ult here. So this is something you've got to see them build around, be aware of. Quick little pain shot to try and maybe delay.
I mean, Wolves are just perfectly for this. There's actually nobody here. Yes. Entry found, but it's a full 5v5 in the post.
Sketchy timing on this. And it looks like something wants to try and hold
Very
this
good,
back. They're
Nathan.
willing to try and brawl on the site. They're not sitting deep at all here. Something wants to draw blood. PRX still standing by. Oh, it's messy. And now there's an opportunity. PRX though.
Oh भाई Jing crazy
You
bro.
know he'll give you a couple here.
Yeah.
From him. Now down in the 1v2. Incredibly difficult for CFAT BB again.
Yeah, Jing baby. Fire round भाई.
The tempo shift here
Fire
on the
round
half
भाई.
certainly suiting Paper X. Now on to the good 8-7 scoreline. Can get this judge up close and personal.
Okay, who's got
Jing 4 on the round for him.
Yeah, baby.
This was the showstopper.
Hello.
Potentially, what should? All right, let's have that for the next buy round here. Wolves down on a bit of a Shiko. No ultimates to their name.
बस अब नहीं
See
करूँगा
if that
ठीक है.
BB the closest. And, well, actually, Lysor one away from the TP, but necessarily too impactful.
कुछ कांड लैंड हो गया तो पता नहीं कहाँ. Pushing, they're pushing. Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
That's a recoverable weapon. No one else is here. So the game should be given away to an extent. Obviously now, the hit being noted by YU. Trying to buy time, but it's hard to hold this back, right? It's a flood of players, full kit.
Nobody was watching, don't worry. We didn't see it.
Yeah,
We didn't see it.
All good, all good. Paper X though, got to steady the ship here. Can still get a little bit scary. And now Juicy does have that Vandal, right? Can they play him in? The post plant is purely on the site itself, Mike. There isn't anyone sitting deep.
Well, I mean, he's got 4 sheriffs basically to rally behind here and try and make this rifle work. Found the first. Batman's fallen.
Okay, Divine now. Gonna have to do work here, so you've had BB
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well. Divine.
Divide with the race, bro.
I told you before, this man is a big player.
I
in
have to
big
do
games,
this.
And he just had a hell of a lot of impact.
Blink and you miss it. One of the quickest aces I think we've probably ever seen.
Look at
He
this.
is, man.
And they needed him. They needed this. It was all going wrong. Whoa.
That is
भाई
just
वे
Magic.
is मार दी भाई.
beautiful
Yeah,
to watch.
same reaction. You will like
He's
when
going
start
through
देगा
it.
भाई. साले एक टाइम ऐसे
They're
गिरेंगे
getting
दूसरे
close,
टाइम
Wolves,
ऐसा
right? They're getting
भागेंगे.
close on these rounds, getting a little bit scary. But the scoreline looking good for Paper X. 9-7, a bye back in hand for Wolves, though. They have to stop the rock fast.
This could be the round to find that response. Back to see you, Fat BB's ultimate. This time around, obviously retrieve the orb outside C. There's a bit of a gap here with Forsaken solo anchor towards A. Obviously, possibility here. And then second player actually to come across fairly quickly, but
Oh, here comes a test. And then, I don't know if that's going to reach. It does. So Lysol will be noted. Draws the paranoia. Okay, counter on counter. They can't hear a thing here. Divide though, unaffected, unfazed. 35 seconds getting close now. The paranoia burnt early, and Lysol needs to be ready. There's a lot of pressure coming his way. You're gonna hear the ults coming out to secure the plant, but Lysol still does the damage. Can't do the dancer with Forsaken. And that's punishing Jing on the push-up. And now the plant gets hindered. Problems now mounting. Spring at the door, and now it's just on Divide. Position noted earlier, they should be aware. But this man's dangerous, but not today. Spring's got his number.
Nice try.
Back within touching distance.
It's okay.
So we needed them to find a response here. They finally stopped that string of rounds. Getting costly here on both sides. The showstopper shut down here from Jing, desperate to try and convert.
Shoot the recon! Shoot the recon!
Shoot the recon.
It's broken the money from PRX II.
Yeah, it has.
See
Yeah,
how
I mean,
close
it's
these rounds have been.
Pura
not necessarily been a walk in the park for that string of rounds, but Jing looking to put this rifle to work. Start of round 18.
He's had a feel-good round not too long ago. Ooh,
Oh, look at that anti-TP sets up!
Oh, it's so sick! You think Wolves are just another team? They're certainly not very ready for what PRX wanted to bring. Forsaken picking up what feels like the cursed rifle at this point. Just dropping hand to hand. Divided well last time in a scenario not too dissimilar to this, but not be able to get it this time. Yeah, handled. Wolves fully ready.
Something just walking into a blender. Look at both nanos actually into that corner. The alarm bot was there as well.
Yeah.
See the vulnerable taking effect.
Second time
Yeah,
out.
it was. Yeah, the second is here.
No escape, really. God.
And actually, yeah, I didn't
Yes,
even.
bring
Yeah, Jing's
the
forced
kill
into the line of sight as well. So great little setup here from Wolves will actually get them a second round. Force a timeout as well from PRX.
क्या अलग ही हाइप हो रही है भाई पूरी पीटीयू.
So we'll be required to stand on their own 2 feet now for the remainder. 9-9 the scoreline.
I just keep thinking, oh, okay, PRX back to that 4 in the row. You start to have Jing popping off. You've had Divide do it, you know, acing out. It looked good. But then these last two, Wolves never feel like they look like they're under pressure. It's always possible with them. That nice little setup, the last 2 rounds, very considered.
Find themselves in a really good position actually here in terms of defensive ultimates. They got 1 away from the lockdown, Springs 1 off the pit.
Oh, true, yeah.
2 more for Juicy to find the showstopper. I mean, yes, options on the side of PRX, but in terms of this defensive ult cycle, they're gonna feel really, really good about themselves. Again, even with that string of rounds now, look at what's in the bank for PRX. What's behind this purchase? I even hear a broken purchase if you look at some of the shields.
This feels tense though, because this was the one from the timeout, right? This is the one with the plan in mind for PRX. The last check-in with the coaching staff, unless we get OT. Hey, off the back of the timeout, why not? A traditional reaction. Is PRX aware? Something. There's 3 players in that smoke. You may think there's 1, but will he expect all 3? Quick enough to find 1. Great paranoia from Forsaken as well. Do they try and go on the hunt from this? Oh, the TP's lovely. Big investment on that, but I like the idea behind it, taking a lot of space. But look at towards the site. It's, yeah, Juicy still standing here, pops the off, plays it well.
Oh my god, what a play from Juicy, bro.
Brought back to life before from CUBB, and now he's standing on his own 2 feet. Divide left. All on his own. Surrounded, and he doesn't even know it. You thought that TP might have cut right through him, it didn't. The Wolves still standing together, fighting together. Divide does what he can, putting up a stand. The Wolves taking the lead.
Defense oriented map.
Executed to perfection here Again, a crucial trade from Juicy, but then to find the second, the showstopper comes through, that splash damage. I can't believe that even catches on Jing. Outrageous scenes here.
Are you starting to believe now? The way this half started, I thought it was going to go kind of par for course, right? What you'd expect. But the Wolves, once again, proving they are lethal about their business. So we go again. Money not looking good for PaperX. It's Stingers, it's a Sheriff, it's a Bulldog. Brought together from the bargain bin, basically, here. Can they make something with it? Ooh, a little bit of chip on the way. Position now noted. See if BB on the site here. Still got C's and his Prowlers, but they are fast as
Nice.
Caught sleeping. Not expecting the pace. Juicy, a wild play through the smoke. Gonna find two, but Springs now here. It gets a bit messy, but it's working out, at least for now, in Wolves' side.
Upgrade here for Pac-Man, though.
Oh, do you really go for that? No.
Certainly doesn't feel safe to just stick the plant out, so they're waiting for something. Does have the ultimate here.
यार वो clear करेगा वो
3 doesn't feel good.
And that chip on Pac-Man 2, they're starting to feel it. Something's going to have to go nuclear. Try and save the day, but none of these fights, these engagements
अरे यार,
are
timing
fair
हो
for
गई
him.
यार,
YU does well, even Pac-Man with 21 HP. And not a prayer to be had.
Timing हो गई यार,
Once
something
again
के साथ.
now, round by round.
ये
taking
लगातार
this
round
away
लेगी यार.
from PaperX.
They hit 11 here. This is
God.
ये दो
into
kill
really open territory now. You can see there's effectively a force up here. Ultimates aplenty. Talking about some of those defensive ultimates here for Wolves. See how it lies here for PaperX. This is going to take up the lion's share. Obviously, the round loss bonus is going to be a consideration, but could potentially face Wolves here on map point on a broken buy.
On PaperX's map choice.
Yeah.
हाँ PaperX का map है यार.
It all starts to compound here, but they're not there yet. 4 in a row, unanswered. Alt starting to build, money looking solid. We're gonna need a PaperX round. Gonna need someone to step up, and it looks like something wants to try and trailblaze his way forward. Good info. 2 spotted, and the rest now filling behind that.
So whether or not they were trying to set up for potentially a paranoia there.
Oh, the paranoia was fine.
Oh भाई कितना अच्छा paranoia.
Still standing, still breathing. Forsaken gonna find the trade out towards Lightsor. Nice.
Nice.
Unwilling to relent on the site now.
दोनों में
Spring,
good
and
job.
oh my God, what a shot.
Oh, 4
Forsaken
seconds with
wants
the big kill.
this. YU, a 1v3.
ये ले बेटे.
This would be something special. But a lifeline for
Something
PaperX.
special. Something को कुछ करना पड़ेगा. To
Jump
have a
spot
something
towards Street,
special.
that's from Divide. Time's been bought. Couldn't get the punish fast enough. Now they know the position. The cross should be the death of YU. I say should. Yeah, they're not giving him an inch here. Very well handled by PaperX in the end. They had to keep their cool there.
Almost a lifeline here in terms of the bigger picture. Brings it within 1. Not allowing Wolves to really sit back on their laurels and rely on these ultimates. Getting so sloppy on that first kill. The paranoia almost setting things in motion, but Forsaken just,
Heroics there.
yeah, just absolutely
ये
bulldozing his way onto site.
Those were your last words.
Wolves late timeout in the half in the map. Round
Last time
22.
दोनों का ही.
Comfortable financially. He's still got those ultimates actually building back towards Juicy and Siu Fat BBs. Almost a stacked deck here in terms of this cycle.
Yeah, it starts looking a bit scary, and that Jing's 2 away from his. Forsaken 1 off and 2 away from Patman's, but as I said, this feels like we're getting really...
Well, again, you think about it as well, if you don't invest these ultimates early on, you never really get a clean 5v5 retake versus PaperX, because they'll find a plant, but they'll also, more often than not, push towards spawn, try and find a kill, weaken that setup. So if Wolves do have any kind of set pieces around these ultimates, you're really looking towards Spring and YU to mitigate that risk and sit deep enough where you're not really going to be able to rely on it too much. much, but I said Paper X, they're a team that reads into that sort of thing so well.
Well, I'm probably going to see a paint shell. I imagine maybe a C's perhaps, who knows, but you're seeing the way that Paper X want to pass.
Well, first time actually the stars aligned for a fight towards Rubble here.
God, this could be right off the rip. Here we go. Already paint shell comes in, C's not going to find it, but the reveal is fantastic. Juicy going to go Forsaken, doubling in. This is lovely from them. See if it maybe does answer back in kind, but Paper X aren't stopping. They want the site. And it, beautiful.
What a shot, bro.
Yeah, that's stunning. Almost singular in approach, just banking on themselves.
I mean, what Plant coming through with 120 left on the clock, it's a haymaker thrown from Paper X and it lands once more. Similar to those early rounds we did see in the second half.
This shouldn't be possible. A 1v3. It shouldn't be possible. And it isn't. Something at the end to add the full stop to that sentence. But it is a little bit Paper X have found what they needed. But it's getting close here. The money's still in place for Wolves. And you're looking at those ults, they become such a heavy factor, but this reveal was everything.
Lysor, unfortunately, still in the committed position. Fat BB, unfortunately, I guess, just caught off guard by the flash. Tried to turn it, but even so, you connect that first shot, you've got 2-3 more members of Paper X staring you down. Paper X maybe feel as if they found the recipe here. Slower approach this time around. No resistance shown early on, at least, from Wolves. Exploration elsewhere. This is both YU and Spring, though. Spring's going to continue pushing forwards. Might even catch Divine Spawn.
Yeah, trying to almost sell this fake, but Divine completely unawares. They hadn't seen this sort of look before, but if anything, it encourages his approach towards A now.
Jing does have the showstopper as well, though.
Yeah, this is going to get tense. Both players stuck on the back of the site now. Ready for the swing, but not ready for the shot. Lights or handles Forsaken, waiting for the pop of the O, and Jing's landed it. 3v3 now. Tension rising. Something holding the push through the door on the other side now. Rewarded. Nice from him. Man advantage and Plant next on the cards.
See the lockdown invested here. A 2v3. The response comes through from Patmen, but Paper X going to get to fight this. YU's found one.
Yeah, beautiful from him. They've got to react to it now. Something, it wasn't clean enough. And Jing, what do you do?
He's caught.
What do you do?
They can just stick it.
Yeah. I can't believe it. YU just has to hold guard. And for Jing, he just has to stand back and watch as the 12 gets taken away.
यार थोड़ा सा something wait कर लेता यार हो जाता.
Take the lead.
ए यार ये क्या किया यार?
The purchase
Something
going
को
to be
wait करना था बस.
rough for Wolves, but they find that response finally.
ये गलत हो गया ना?
Finding the opportunity to invest the lockdown. I mean, it's another situation where you just see Forsaken again, just digging so deep. Jing hitting the drive-by as well. That killed Rob with a follow-up here onto something. This is one ultimately that can bail Jing out in that situation. They're coming into this though. Wolves still have a pit, still have a showstopper. Big tools to work with here in round 24. Moment of silence will drop. Paper X poised now.
Cover going out.
Once again, it's like actually big info there. Catch him drifting away here, not necessarily looking committed. It being Jing, obviously, the tip of the spear on some of these set pieces, but Paper X are actually going to contact up.
It all feels like the calm before the storm.
Wolves almost scratching their heads here. They invest the pit over, expecting maybe that with that information, Paper X are rotating towards it.
There's the info, but are you ready for the hit? How do you play it for Lysor? Oh my god, he's going for the heroics. Oh, he went for the heroics and it worked out for one. Not going to get a second. Paper X now finds stability on the site. Into the post plant. Something playing a little further ahead. He wants a one and done and back away. No one's given him that yet though. And the time ticking for Paper X here. This is good for them. Still
Juicy
in
लेके
play though.
Juicy
Juicy
fight
has
किया
his.
सकते हैं.
You've heard that invested. Flies on the side, but something does well. Gets one back. The showstopper does one.
क्या ignore क्यों कर रहा है?
And a trade for Spring.
Bro, what the
It's into a
fuck, bro? He was
2v2.
just
It ain't over
ignoring.
yet. You're looking at the post plant for Divine and Jing here. Can they hold on to this? Paint shell posted by some seconds. They needed to stay
Nice.
alive. Divine digging deep, and they're not dead yet. They're
Yes.
not done yet.
भैंस क्या कर रहा है something?
Chance.
Ignore ही कर दिया बिल्कुल ही उसको.
Bringing it back to 12 apiece.
Of course we see overtime here on the first map of this series. An insane exchange here throughout the second half. And PaperX just showing a brazen approach.
No fear.
Almost their trademark game plan here. But Wolves, I gotta say it, seemingly up to the challenge. Everything gets reset now for round 25. Those ultimates will be reset as well. I mean, Wolves in a perfect position to close out now, but back onto the attacking side.
Timing is going to be critical on this. They've read it. They've read it really well here.
Same piece we've seen previously.
And it worked out well for a 2-2 trade in the end, but this time, Jing,
Bro, yes.
in unison. They're not going to let them even have a chance into this.
अब नहीं देंगे भाई
Denied
दो.
from the very word go. And Wolves one back in, they're taking the
Yes.
He can't do that. PaperX locked in on this. A
दोनों ही.
4v2. They should find stability, Mike. But Wolves look there, unwilling to back away. They don't want to go
They're
elsewhere.
expecting PaperX to rotate away from this and give up the space, but PaperX reading this perfectly. Still got both extremities controlled as well, so
It's so difficult. They need a freebie. They need something, and it ain't happening. PaperX looking sharp here. Right read, right
Yes.
place, right shots.
PRX.
draw first blood this set piece once
अब
more.
risk लेने का ही नहीं.
The back of the seasonade. This time around, no casualties, no trade found. Able to stick the landing. Wolves actually call a timeout here. Ahead of the second round in overtime.
So impressed by PaperX's mental here, though, because they've been put through the ringer on this. Again, it's pressure on them more than anything, right? If you're Wolves, you've already done more than expected.
In fine form today. But yeah, again, usually with Wolves, you'd be talking about, you know, this unknown quantity and,
क्या
you know,
मैच
hard
हो
to
रहा
read
है
stuff
क्या
like that.
मैच
The
हो
fact
रहा
that
है
we're talking about
इसके
actually there is some
यही
familiarity
expect
between these two
teams से.
teams. It makes it a little bit
China
more
और
interesting
अपनी
because
specific.
we've seen kind of counters to both approaches.
Yeah.
PaperX showing they're able to dismantle those defaults.
मैं बता रहा हूँ PaperX एकदम
Wolves
push
also
करेगी.
looking as if they're very adept at dealing with early
Full
round
W.
aggression and I'm with you on that one.
Again, you look at PaperX, they are a legacy team here, right? And they have that one destination in mind, that final stop. But what's
Final
standing
के
in
लिए
their way
PaperX
of that
को
grand final?
जीती नहीं है 2 बार.
And it's down to the wire between these two. So we go again. Similar scenes, it looks like, right? It almost looks like rinse and repeat, but Jing this time is fast. Oh, and he does get it!
Sure.
Lysor has gone down. It looked a little laboured, but YU swings in. Oh, he gets a second! Hold on, PaperX,
Oh,
held
boy.
back here now.
ये क्या हो गया?
Spike just behind the wall as well. Not necessarily a comfortable push out here
That's
for
both
Wolves
players.
to control. Yeah, Divine and Forsaken will be given an opportunity to reset a little bit here, but find themselves in a 2v3.
Oh, I thought they were leaving Devi there. God.
Me too. तो लगे थे भाई खेलेंगे पूरा.
So no paranoia. Going to be a little gap on a follow-up smoke here. Spark comes through. Juicy still got satchels. Spring still with a snake bite, so a couple of tools here at WOL's disposal.
Oh, it's so tense now. You're gonna need someone to over-deliver, and
Yes!
they do! Paper X take it deep!
Oh भाई, almost had it bro, spring but yes.
Paper X! It took so long to get there, but that legacy team
Well played, bro.
holding strong on map 1.
हट गई थी भाई.
He's standing pistol round.
He's standing on a pistol round. Oh bro, क्या ही मैच कर दिया यार इनने सही में यार. पहला ही मैच है आज, पहले ही मैच में इनने बैंड बजा दी पता है. फोर सेकंड डिवाई भाई, क्रेजी खेला है भाई डिवाई एस के साथ. पहला ही मैच है अभी तो, इसके बाद तो G2 वर्सेस फनाटिक भी है. या G2 वर्सेस फनाटिक में जो हारेगा वो बाहर जाएगा. एंड आई वांट G2 बाहर हो. आई डोंट नो व्हाई, पर मैं चाहता हूँ कि G2 बाहर हो. भाई अभी तो पूरा मैच बचा है. और बताओ भाई, क्या हाल चाल है सबके, कैसा रहा आज का दिन? आज तो फ्राइडे है वैसे यार. कितने लोग आज बोतल खोल रहे हैं बताओ? स्कोर क्या हुआ जरा देखें क्या? 331 पे 3. शुभमन गिल 118 भाई. प्रिंस फॉर अ रीजन. मेरे को थोड़ा रिस्की ना, इसमें सेटिंग भी चेंज करनी है कैमरा एंगल की, मतलब थोड़ा मैं दिखूं तगड़ा. इसमें कुछ कैमरा सेटिंग का कुछ तो होता होगा यार. इसके यहाँ कुछ तो करूँगा भाई मैं. अतरंगी सा, अतरंगी करना है भाई, कुछ नहीं करना, अतरंगी करना है. भाई अगला मैच है एसेंट पे. एसेंट एक बहुत अच्छा डिफेंस ओरिएंटेड मैप माना जाता है, ठीक है? तो बहुत ही अच्छा मैच होगा एसेंट पे. और स्प्लिट पे भाई, अगर स्प्लिट तक पहुंचा, इतना भसड़ मैच होएगा ना कि भाई चल क्या रहा है, कंफ्यूजन बढ़ जाएगी. ये तो अभी बाइंड नहीं है, बाइंड में तो और भसड़ होती है. जीजी बैट नहीं भाई, ये सब नहीं करते हम, ठीक है? बैटिंग एटिंग. if someone is helping me promote तो देखेंगे, बाकी नो बैटिंग नेवर. अच्छी आदतें नहीं है सब, ठीक है? टेंस भाई भी वहीं से स्ट्रीम कर रहे हैं, टोरंटो से। टोरंटो टोरंटो बेबी। भाई इन लोगों ने भी इतना अच्छा सेटअप किया है ना पार्ट 2 में, अच्छा लगता है। मतलब जब आपके साथ खेलने वाले हो, फ्रेंड्स। बस थोड़े से ना पैसों की कमी है और अच्छे दोस्तों की जो खेलते हो, ठीक है। दोस्तों की कमी नहीं है, खेलने वाले दोस्तों की कमी है। अच्छे दोस्त हैं अपने पास। क्या लगता है? हे भगवान, ये गर्मी हो रही है यार। 2 दिन इतना प्यारा मौसम था ना, फिर उसके बाद लाइट चली गई, और फिर जब अगला दिन हुआ फिर धूप ही धूप। धूप नहीं है, मतलब गर्मी बहुत है। मेरा स्टीम लॉगिन नहीं है क्या यहाँ पे? स्टीम पे देखते हैं कोई गेम खेलने के लिए। मैं देखता हूँ कुछ अच्छा सा अपन खेल पाए। रोज वैलोरेंट कौन खेलेगा यार, कौन यार। कल भी देखो एक ही मैच है, बेस्ट ऑफ 5 हो, ठीक है। अभी तो BO3 चल रहा है, बेस्ट ऑफ 3। तो फिर हम बेस्ट ऑफ 5 देखेंगे कल, फिर उसके बाद हम फ्री हो जाएंगे क्योंकि कल सैटरडे नाइट है, ठीक है। तो ऐसा कुछ गेम बताओ, मतलब मैं देखता हूँ जो तुम्हें बोर भी ना करे और तुम्हें मजा भी आए। हॉरर खेलेंगे क्या कल कोई? बोलो, हॉरर खेल सकते हो। हॉरर में क्या खेल सकते हो? चलो हॉरर गेम। अरे भाई ये कम लगानी थी हॉरर जॉनरा में कोई। अच्छा ये मुझे सुन नहीं आ रही, तो लोड क्यों ले रही है? नहीं हो रहा क्या? फुल अंधेरा करके खेल हाँ मल्टीप्लेयर बहुत तगड़ा गेम होगी मेरे ख्याल Ryzen P साला 3700 रुपये का है मेरा घर चाहेगा 27/2024 ओ भाई ग्राफिक्स देख डेमो है यार ये Q3 मतलब next 3 months रेसिडेंट इविल खेलें उस टाइप का कुछ देखता हूँ मैं कल के लिए ठीक है कोई हॉरर गेम खेलेंगे कल मजा आएगा वैसे ठीक है अंधेरा करके खेलेंगे ठीक है डिम लाइट्स
Can play this one, Mimi. This could be quite problematic for them if they're not careful and checking their P's and Q's.
For sure, yeah. They have to be on point with taking calculated risks, but it definitely paid off in the first game here. Let's take a look at the comps and PaperX locking in that jet for something now.
Oh, they're going back to something, you know, more standard in this case. They moved away from the Gecko and the Rays. I had a feeling that was going to happen, but I love, Mimi, the fact that they're sticking with this double controller and the Viper.
I really like the Viper comps on this map. I think they've always been strong on defense,
double
especially
controller,
Device.
double
But this is
initiator,
much more sensible in terms of the rest of the utility. You're going to
no
put a lot
senti.
into something. I'm looking at what he can do with the AWP, starting on this defensive side, and what protocols Wolves have to deal with that.
Another player that we have to look at is Patman. Very quiet performance in the first map, something that is very, very different from what we've been seeing for the rest of the tournament.
He's going to have a lot of responsibility here because I think like you're going to want that KO maybe to try and like flash a bit with the deadlock there to prevent that utility from being a bit of a problem. Try and sniff those things out. He's going to have a tall task ahead of him without a doubt. Curious to see how this one plays out because really it feels like both teams are doing their homework looking at this.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, I think that we also need to look at Forsaken. I think that one of the things that PaperX have to take great care of, number one is YU, because he's going to be most likely the one that is playing outside of the pack, and that could bring some break some of the timings of Wolves that like to wait so much, and that is why I'm looking at these players to focus on.
Oh boy, all right, well, it's time now to get ready for map number 2. Toronto, you want to see a map 3?
नहीं, I want PaperX to win, bro. I want PaperX to win. 2-0. Dasher to win.
Very much want a map 3.
चलो G2 पर आया, Sentinel score आया और
And you really can't blame us after map 1. 14-12, it tipped the way of PaperX in OT. But what a wild ride it was to get there. Now on Ascent though, Mike, has this changed any of your expectations?
I mean, you look at this, really, the upset would have come from Lotus for me. If Wolves could close out here, PaperX struggled domestically here on Ascent. They obviously have the loss to Gen G previously here, sorry. So this is the opportunity now for Wolves to get back in control of this series and force a third, because Split should be an absolute barn burner if we get there.
Please,
look, always delivers, man.
Everybody wants to watch Split of these two teams. बहुत ही crazy map है एकदम.
Let's see if they can get there first. For PaperX though, in their minds, there's always been one goal as the grand finals, right? This team put together, when it's back to the drawing board to rebuild.
There was a great line from Devi, I think, in one of the interviews, talking about every time he sees the champs LA finisher in-game, it haunts him. A couple of matches, I saw them brought up on map 1.
So again, you've got to have been starving to truly understand hunger. And for PaperX, they never really got that first place. Not when it mattered. So for them, probably the best chance they've had in a minute's time. But still, it will be Wolves on the attack, PaperX on the defending side. Something tries to stake his claim towards middle, but will be warded away.
Back on the Sheriff actually here, QC with a flash. Close and personal shot actually for second court.
4 seconds को चाटा पड़ा भाई चाटा.
Yeah, maybe not thinking John had filled that space yet, but there is still 2 players on this side of the map for PaperX, so Patman's still here. Jing still on this side too. Slow and steady again for Wolves. And it looks like PaperX wants this back, but it's just going to end up being a brawl, isn't it? They're ahead of the smoke, but what's the util on the corner? There isn't any. So Jing and Batman do really well. Eventually they trade it effectively though. Wolves keep the man to the good, and they get the site for themselves.
2v3, this one is something,
HP as
1
well.
HP as well.
But 2 sheriffs.
I think
PaperX could pack a punch here on the retake. For a spam, that's the exchange back and forth. Still got a drone in play here for CFAT BB.
That is lovely. Gonna have to keep themselves tucked in on this. I think both potentially spotted, yeah. And that was huge for this. Something.
एक भी नहीं भाई, एक bullet नहीं लगी तेरी.
Off to a great beginning.
Waste of the sheriff.
But again for Wolves, you got to make it work on these attacking sides.
Absolutely do. Talked about that being the main objective
ये बहुत ही crazy.
on Lotus. He did deliver.
Enemy remaining.
To repeat it here once more.
अगर PaperX आ रही है.
Something. He can get that economy building, as Mimi mentioned, what he can get done with the operator potentially on the defensive side, always a factor on Ascent.
Right here.
Wolves have the tools to really prevent that from happening. Fairly invested here on round 2 as well. Respect being shown to PaperX. Spring on a Sheriff, Bulldogs across the board. Actually, with round 1, CFAT BB already halfway to the Hunter's Fury as well, so looking for further progress potentially.
But again, a reminder of that last map too. These rounds aren't free. When it comes to that second round, even just a Sheriff, even it's just classics. PaperX will make something out of it. For now though, again, it's a considered approach from Wolves.
Just 3 guns
around the map. Gonna do diligence and see if BB will be working towards, as said, that, or I imagine probably getting priority on that here. Caution needs to be shown. That deep haunt over towards B, you should have seen on the mini-map. Pretty indicative of no one's there, and the connection of the knife. So they should be pretty locked in for what's happening.
I have the spike.
Considering set piece here around the cage from Lysol, but
They cancelling on this.
30 seconds left. They need to find progress somewhere.
Dangerous.
Especially with players like Jing tucked up. In a very deep position. Laboured, but Wayu comes out on top.
Yeah, the paranoia goes into sight, so they should be able to kind of springboard through this. Unless someone wants to smoke, now you can't. Now you're held back. It feels like the anti-PaperX, doesn't it? But they still find a way through. Divide up and over the top, but at this point the plant's going to be in. So very difficult to find much surprise, even ahead of maybe that deadlock util. You've got to be cautious. Again, you can afford losing one player, that being Spring. The rest you don't want to lose, and YU took a risk, but he should be fine here. Yes, stability looking good. CFAT BB going to be building very close to that. Oh, and a lovely round in the end from Wolves there, Mike.
Initially, CFAT BB did have the spike, but plant coming through elsewhere. Still, fantastic progress made.
I got scared here, though.
Very, very worried, yeah. And the Bulldogs sometimes can be a little hard to tame. CFAT BB not having that shit in that regard. Sticking the spray.
At least 2 गिरानी चाहिए.
Especially with Spring upgrading as well.
This is a nice spot.
Hi Ben.
Makes this round 3 doable here for Wolves. Actually, 2 light shields.
Hi Ben.
Side of PaperX as well for something. And Forsaken.
Fighting on
every
front though, PaperX here. Pressure down B main, pressure down cap, pressure on towards A main. It's a really risky ploy. I guess it does burn some of that early util for Wolves though, so there is that, and they're really committing the paranoia on that too.
जल्दी जल्दी paranoia देने की, हैं?
Spring on the opposite side here.
If Spring even comes out positive in any of this, it would be incredible for him. Because in the meantime, look at where the spike's going, Mike.
I think if he can show presence, or something actually. Forsaken's walked all the way up as well.
They don't know about Forsaken. Oh, it's a quick beheading. Couldn't get the follow up on Lysol, and it might be the green light to go towards B. Still a player to hold his divider down low. Still breathing on 35. He takes YU out of the equation. Now starting to flounder a bit. You can see it with Wolves. This was only their bonus, but still struggling to find the landing on this up against the 4 remaining for PaperX. That's going to be dealt with. You look at that mid alert coming into effect too, but that's not going to find the value they want.
Nice!
Something clean within. Lysol still making
भाई
some
Bulldog कभी कभी इतनी OP होती है भाई.
If he can get through here, oh my god, it's risky off the back, but still. And now the smoke dissipates on. Oh! The smoke going down on CT opens up chance here. Divide tries to find that second before the paranoia lands, but 8 seconds now. Stop it, Wolves! One by one, they are taking down PRX, and Jinx seems unaware of the possibility of Spring being so close. Smokes of his own and a couple of TPs. How do you divide and conquer this?
We are going to split, buddy.
But all eyes drawn to that potential in the smoke. Jing steps forward, smoke goes down, and Spring finds him. Mike, I can't believe what I just saw.
Conversion on the bonus here. Talked about the threat with all those Bulldogs. It looks like PRX initially come out with a win to catch this kill, but not just that, the information that Wolves are descending upon B site. But some key pieces of utility, key damage towards Divide, and that initial exchange pays off massively for Wolves. Upper hand here to kick off map 2.
And I'm waiting with because that's a huge start for them. Because I feel like once you get PRX on the attack, they come into their own, right? Able to control the tempo, kind of do what they please. If you can stake a good claim for yourselves, the opportunity's yours. Why you? Quick reminder. The PRX are lethal no matter the weaponry. And that is going to be an upgrade for something. Might pass that over depending on the shield situation, but still, good stall here.
Oh, and yeah, drone cancelled.
Massive. Patman. Is he going to get to live here? There's a lot of targets that all could be sent towards, and yeah, grab.
Yes!
Divide in the meantime.
Divide.
To take down Juicy. Hold on, this is not completely secure by any means. They're in a 3v3, sure, but look at the HP of Lysor. See if BB does have his ult, but I don't think he can get away from that default plant spot. So Spring waiting. Now sees that. Forsaken, are you aware? Going to be held up back towards Heaven. The 2 players on site can focus towards short. Nice from Spring, but he goes down. And now Something and Divine need to come together in this. Somehow figure it out. The deeper off angle from Lysor was lovely. Leaving Divine. Oh, what a shot! You got one more of those. You've done it before. You had the ace before. The man is a monster, but he's got to prove it now. And see if that BB has been ice cold in these. He knows the time. He knows the tempo.
Did he get it? Did he get it? Did he get it? Oh my fucking god, bro! Yes!
The Red Bull clutch here for Divide. Continue
fire round, bro. This was something fire.
Today in this series.
God damn! Just give the man a sheriff.
Fire, man!
Another 3-piece for him to add to the list. It's rough as well, the reset again. Default plant spot safe initially, but that position from CFAT BB, it's a gamble. You can get a cheeky half defuse in, or you can go ahead and stick it. It forces the hand, especially with the recon bolt being used so early on.
Now they start pressuring the point. Look at that deep line already adopted by Something in that operator. Sit towards that. Prowler going to be clearing. No one nearby now.
My ult is ready.
And the ult gathered too, so a nice early step, but a fast mid take coming out from the Wolves.
Potential to backstab this. I think they're reading into maybe some deep presses. Yeah, we'll catch the backside of Something for sure. And the second player.
Oh!
That is bravery! Why are you swinging that? Forsaken doubling down. It's a mistake and a punish is why you will lap that up. And now that B-side looks so vulnerable.
Flash. Will guarantee the cross. Juicy's going to find Divide as well. And actually, yeah, that might just be
spike planted.
The white flag put up from PRX here to hold on to these weapons. No point feeding into this potentially with Juicy. Close to that ultimate. Spring's actually already on the hunt. He wants to prevent any semblance of safety here. No remaining PRX players. He's going to pick up a deep position in spawn though. There's still maybe a question mark if they're in towards market or in towards spawn. Well, they will progress any further, but yeah, I usually talk about discipline, and that was a lack of respect to Something.
Yep.
And did he even get a shot off? Why he was just so quick to that?
Yeah, they seem really aware. Again, this kind of, it's not necessarily that regional matchup at all, but, you know, scrim partners and the information on this ahead of that swing, it was really well dismantled. Again, Forsaken's fault as well, just felt it was too late. to be going for that. There's no trade to be there.
I think,
Desperation.
yeah, again, once you know it's the drone that's come forward, you're not just swinging onto YU there. Again, it's almost an expected response here from PaperX. They deal with the trip. They want to post something on a much deeper sight line. Again, the Prowler's sent through as well. So it's actually Wolves that have the upper hand in terms of the information game. It's a question mark for PaperX, actually. Who's behind that? And the punish, unfortunately, there for them. Will leave them with a 4-1 deficit now. Timeout called. There's a purchase. Considering the rifles behind this, maybe want to make a play for an orb here for something to offset that slightly. It's Forsaken going to be riding a stinger coming into this, but already a fantastic start for Wolves. Looking composed.
Yep.
As well, just hearing from Fade talking about how much actually those days off have paid off, because they've had, like we said, with the comeback in Gen G, the resilience shown, that takes a lot from a team, even if they're all smiles and on their feet on the stage and stuff. Behind closed doors, no doubt, no doubt that reset absolutely necessary to continue here in Toronto.
Yeah, spot on. So for them, it is now just how long can you keep this up? How clean can you keep this game? PaperX so far with that one round, but of course did have that timeout. Any of the ults coming through as well for something. YU's kind of had their number on this B side, but it feels like they're getting the right read here. But you're going to go through the pit on this? No, brave enough to go for the ult orb, but that's about all she wrote. But that mid-cross is dangerous now.
I think I did just hear something pop the knives.
Camera angle देखो भाई.
Not necessarily looking like as bad a situation here for PaperX.
I must wait a
They
moment.
try and navigate their way round the pit.
Looks like it, right?
There's a TP back here from Juicy to potentially collapse on B side very quickly with YU Spring.
To do that to something! Can we just like highlight the fact you're doing that to something twice now? He's been outswung. If you don't think these Wolves are gunners, you are absolutely wrong. Now they've manipulated the map well. Now they want to maybe hit that cross back in again, and this is where those stingers are going to start suffering. You're not in the right place, but Jinx still going to hold his ground. Paranoia primed and sent down through. Tries to escape, and he gets out at least for now. Patman's found light, Story's got support. Spring, oh, see that BB, they're just flying in towards him. Patman, go!
Batman! What a round, buddy.
Puts himself in a deadly position and delivers here for PaperX.
I need to watch that one back.
It just jumps down, able to get behind this so quickly.
Oh.
Beautiful stuff from him.
Fucking Bruce Wayne, bro.
Semblance of comfort.
Batman, bro, Batman.
Whatsoever. Operator back in hand now for something. All stacked up in mid now. The smoke will obscure for the time being.
Who's next?
So Juicy going to try and pave the way. Actually, Red's it round the corner there.
And something seems unafraid at all, and he gets out of danger. Trying to combine it with a Hunter's Fury, but it finds no value really. And
yes!
Forsaken just stands his ground. This feels like it's fallen flat here for Wolves. PaperX getting a good read and a good idea. It's going to need a hero to stand tall. Spring's done well towards Batman. Doesn't expect Devi, so close. Great trade for Devi there. And now just two remaining. Juicy and Sufat Baby in the 2v4, Mike. I mean, it would be a tilter.
Defense oriented
Should find a straight 2v2 on either side here, but the issue being something is posted up. The operator. Again, not many tools left to. Actually, no, I haven't said that. Recon and Juicy with a full belt almost.
Trying to send it for the fake, I guess.
30 seconds left.
Nice idea. But it's not going to dissuade these players. They don't need to move.
PaperX can sit in this formation now, and I think actually Wolves.
वो भी हंट पे नहीं आ सकते.
They don't get a bite.
Yeah, looks like a cancel.
I mean, YU 450, Spring 1350, and Lysor
10 seconds left.
struggling to scrape together any funds here.
ये नाइफ अच्छा है.
PaperX will find
ये करनी चाहिए.
their third.
पर पैसे नहीं अफसोस.
Keep things honest in the start of Ascent. Let's see how the ultimates play here. It's only a TP for Spring, and as you can see on PaperX now, absolutely nothing and a million miles away from anything, to be honest with you. So a slight advantage in that regard, but it's not much. I mean, Lysol going to be potentially the next key ultimate for the Wolves.
I've got to say as well, for me, good start seeing Patman find a bit of impact too. He's been a really good player for them.
Yeah, a quiet map one as well, so seeing him come online, certainly a positive.
Oh, Forsaken, got the timing so right. He's so blind, so a good bit of spacing and trading from Juicy just to swing that. But the next layer to this is still something. There's no pressure towards middle, but he's very paranoid about it. They want in on this. Still not noting him. The stall's there. If they try and disrespect it, it's going to be brutal.
Oh, yes.
Yet way too difficult on the way in. Juicy, what is that? You're 1 HP. You're not meant to be doing this sort of stuff. And now Spring left in a 1v2 as well. So unwilling to deny that that scale up towards B was their right idea.
They're wrapping the spike as well. Both Jing and something.
Paranoia, smoke, TPs. He's got a bit of kit here to play with though, Mike.
He's left guessing. Potentially, yeah, going to get himself a clean plan.
Shadows traveling.
The smoke towards CT kind of implies he's not expecting this wrap.
Certainly does. TP should be noted too, that paranoia. What do you do with it? Yeah, a little interested on that, but the corner, slow peeks ain't going to get you past something. And he's going to take a stand on that one. But it felt like Wolves were so headstrong in wanting to hit towards that B site, but the scaling up just didn't feel right there.
Good round.
Initially, that first kill was a Forsaken. Yeah, Forsaken gets caught here with the flash. Revealing area. Look at the minimap at that moment, and there is a huge gap in the PaperX defense. So happens. I mean, Juicy picks up a little momentum, but that kill there, he was down to 1 HP. Shorty connects from here. Just as the door is about to close. Potentially stealing that post plant for Wolves, to be honest with you.
Yeah, don't like it. And now Wolves starting to run dry, it looks like. Again, when we're talking about these sort of big stage games, it is that level of comfort on here when you're under the gun, because yes, they did lose out to, what was it, Sen early on, but beyond that, they've not really dropped a map for Wolves. They've been on that kind of momentum run. So now they're starting to hit that brick wall, right? You kind of expect it in towards these sort of games. The caliber just keeps increasing. I want to see how well they do in this. Obviously, they did great against Gen G. That, to me, was the tick in the box of authenticity.
Yeah, almost a turning point.
Yeah. Like everything else, I'd be like, okay, maybe people underestimated them. Maybe they...
Yeah, because you have that step up again for playoffs where it's like, obviously, the stakes get raised. And we're not talking about elimination for Wolves, but certainly the caliber increases, the pressure definitely correlates with that. And then you step into a series versus PaperX. Talk about Gen G being an international titan, but
PaperX, I mean, God, I said it
need no introduction when it comes to the international stage.
Truly not. And again, I think that because of their lack of, you know, let's say international trophy, that there has been that worry about them, how well they do, their expectations, but they are still a grand finalist team, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
That's just something that doesn't even need to be said half the time. But at this point, they've course corrected well. They've got everything back to where they like it. And for something, he's going hunting. He knows where the man is.
Yeah, Cam dealt with quickly. You see on the minimap as well, situation developing outside A site. Really juicy. Would have rifled here and
very good
mate.
For a team list. Ekdam basics.
This feels very classically PaperX as well, but a dangerous position for Forsaken. He could get outswung here, and he is on his own, but you saw the rotation route coming out from something, so times it well to back away, and that sees obviously giving it a couple of seconds, and actually plays back in something. You don't often see fights this deep on the map, but welcome to PaperX, I guess.
Yeah, PaperX just don't want Wolves to sit back and set up here, preventing any rotation back towards the B side of the map. Patman still commanding this space, and actually Knife will reveal everything if he threw it.
I mean,
probably still knowing exactly what's going on.
Yeah, look
They've
at
got
this.
the, yeah, the snake bite and the fragment.
Oh, this is an awful sight to have to try and approach. Basically dry at this point. Yeah, Juicy still going to get Jing down, but we're... Okay, guys, you were primed for this. And Divine looks like he's trying to do everything himself. What on earth is going on here? Something that's unfair. That's
Something doing something,
I like
bro.
it. 5-4 now, tipping the scales
Nice.
on their side. And I've got to say, Wolves looking a
Muh pe
little
jaake
bit
maar raha
shaken
wo.
by this.
Yeah, and I guess, I don't want to say lost for answers, but unable to really troubleshoot with some of these approaches that PaperX are displaying here on the Sen. Juicy, again, good for 2 on the way in here.
Yeah, surprise.
A moment where Divine can't ping down Spring.
PaperX Watch Party loving that one, but 5-4 we go back through. Buyback in play. And it looks simplistic in approach, it looks direct, and something looks to turn this operator
I got the spike.
into a shotgun. I mean, he's feeling himself here. It's a really risky play. It's now been...
Oh, bhai, something bhai घुस के मार रहा है भाई.
Maybe just in towards the Aldrome, and he's still standing. He looks like he wants to absolutely pop off here, and he is. One by
Bye.
one, and one by one they fall. Can he find that final man as well? YU looking to try and take towards the site, but something's been dominant about this so far. The double swing, position noted. Something's
आज
going on.
Tuesday नहीं तो मैं fire करना है यार.
Hungry for his 4-3 already in the round. There's not much to be done for YU here, Mike.
Especially not now. Already
Literally something on
solid
fire,
idea of
bro.
where he's at. PaperX just want to decisively close out round 10 here.
No escape. Nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. Something gets his 4th, and he is just getting scarier and scarier as the game goes on.
Like they're channeling into that 6th gear. Putting up now 5 rounds unanswered for PaperX.
Oh,
Did start a 4-1 scoreline here. The tides certainly
Yeah,
have
yeah,
turned. We'll actually draw out a second timeout here from
He
Wolves
is on.
on the opening stretch
Yeah.
of Ascent. Desperate,
Second time out ले लिया भाई.
I guess, from Fade
Second.
to try and recover things here. Hope for a 6-6. That's to see if Fabini want to really lead this dialogue.
Something on fire.
yeah, it's not Fade. This is the captain checking in with the boys. See that pressure starting to mount.
Because I guess this is the uncharted territory for this team, right? Is being on international stage and, you know, coming up against opponents that you just can't crack through that first sort of line of defense. Again, this is where these guys really earn their money, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
He's coming up with goods here.
It's all good and well to have those Cinderella runs, right? And it's why we love them. They're such fun to witness. But the reality is normally that fairy tale falls short. There's been very few occasions where it's gone the whole distance. You could argue EG at Champs was probably one of the only ones that ever made it.
The outlier, yeah.
That is it. PaperX have been that fairy tale run in the past, but they never quite made it themselves. For Wolves, they have to face that reality now. How bad do you want it? Do you have really what it takes to push someone like PaperX away from something they are singularly focused on? That grand final is what they want. It's Jing gonna draw blood. It's beautiful and juicy. Not getting what he needs there.
And a tag or two, but Forsaken happy with that. Something will follow up here. YU will fall. Now, actually, Rio Gracia, but PaperX
Thanks.
will correct.
Something
Yeah,
thanks.
Just see Fafi.
they're making it hurt.
Something भाई movement diff है भाई.
This
Literally
is when
movement
it's
diff
rough
दे
to
रहा
play
हूँ.
against PaperX. They know when to keep on pressuring.
भाई कैप्टन और वाइस
Any
कैप्टन
say
मार
in the
रहे हैं
round.
इंडिया.
When he's saying
So
half as
impressive.
well. That's 6 now. With no response.
Beautiful.
Didn't even look like that was going to land as well.
Simply lovely from PaperX. And as said, the pressure starts weighing on the chest for Wolves. It's still a manageable scoreline. Still
Absolutely, yeah.
smiles. we can see
क्योंकि
these
पता
rounds
है
and
ना
then
कि
feeling
थोड़ा
these
बहुत
rounds and this
defensive
aggression
oriented
again.
है
Something
मैं,
wants
ठीक है।
that deeper line, and he's got it for starters.
This is why it's so rough to play against Paper X though, when they get themselves ahead. They know to not let up. Wolves can potentially find a 7-5 here. It will be.
Yeah.
Big tick in the box.
Oh, bang on. But that wherewithal, that discipline, that capability in the high pressure games now is the biggest test for them. Looking a little fraught here so far. Last couple of rounds just not quite been in the wheelhouse. And again, the timing on these knives, rather good.
Oh my team suppose.
Fragment to prevent anybody slipping the smoke, even though Devi on watchful guard here, tucked into logs, because I mean Paper X can sit in this formation.
कोहली भैया भाई, कोहली भैया।
I mean, Devi's just, he does get caught playing ahead there. That is one thing that's worked in their favor. He tried to lean a little forward, gets punished. But Forsaken, the Guardian in this one, keeping them at bay. And look at who slipped towards the site in the meantime. Jing still here, doing the dunk, does it well, takes down another. Forsaken popping up. 20 seconds. The leader for the Wolves side. And falls to Forsaken at 8-4.
Forsaken, baby.
Such a commanding scoreline.
Really is. Wolves' resilience will be tested once more to try and come
वैसे
back here.
मैं बता दूं Wolves ने ना comeback
7-5,
किया।
double 8-4. I mean, it's a pistol round 2 potentially that makes this such a huge deficit to come up against.
Yeah, they've got their work cut out now for Wolves. This is a tough scenario. Paper X, singular in their goal, eyeing up that grand final, but they're not there yet. One more half stands in their way. So they need to prepare themselves. And it seems like we're about to send it over.
भाई तुम अभी कुछ कह नहीं सकते उनको। समथिंग देख रहे हो एकदम भाई +7 पैस किया 4 सेकंड में बस अभी लास्ट राउंड में 4 के लिया। देख भाई क्या बज रहा है वो बंदा। टफ है पर नामुमकिन नहीं है, ठीक है पहले बता दूं टफ है। हम इसके बाद थोड़ा सा खेलेंगे ना, जब तक दूसरा मैप का सेटअप होएगा तो एक आधा वो खेल लेंगे।
Toronto, are you excited? Hell yeah. And now you've played, you have some experience playing in game changers before, so you have an eye for skill. In this matchup so far between Paper X and Wolves, who do you have your eye on so far?
Okay, honestly, at first I wasn't gonna say this, but after that ace with the deagle on that defuse round, Devi.
So does that mean Devi and Paper X are taking a series?
Yeah, I mean, I got PRX rocket on my sleeve right now, so I think they're gonna scare us a little, make it a close match, but I think PRX is gonna like close it out. I'm sorry, Wolves. I'm sorry. You've been great though.
Well, Wolves, you know what to do. It's time to Thank you so much one more time, Sin City.
Wolves के फैन कितने बन गए तुम देख रहे हो? Wolves के फैन बहुत बन गए भाई, मतलब एक वो होती है ना कि पसंद दिल जीत आरसीबी वाली बात है, दिल जीत है। अच्छा खेल रहे हैं, दिल जीत रहे हैं।
Yeah, fair play, and they're going to need a couple because 4 rounds isn't many, right? Paper X sat on 8. You can see on the Coinbase Econ report kind of just the lay of the land really, and it has been a bit of a something show in my mind. He has elevated. I was worried after that first round with the operator. It didn't seem to phase him. He was right back into business.
Yeah, and I think the issue being now coming into the second half, you see the string of rounds. It's been collected by Paper X. Wolves haven't had much of a say in some of these losses. Yes, coming down to maybe a 1v1 here and there, but all the crucial kills feel as if they went Paper X's way. Like I said, we started at a 4-1 scoreline. Now it being 8-4, a pistol
Big
and a
pistol
round 2
bro, big pistol
often seal the fate of a team.
Mid to B, mid to A, mid to B मारो।
Juicy on the line here. First contact made. That's 2 players, and a third now noted. That's a lot of info. See if that BD is being bold about this, but he's been revealed. He's been just about everything, but they've weathered the storm.
Yeah, I think initially there, the further investment in utility implied that PaperX were going to follow through, but maybe the Prowler catching on CUFAB BB made them think there's potentially a little bit of a stack.
The timing on this, I saw. Lovely timing on that, but something is free. A little bit of a dig though, going to do some serious work. Spring's already down low, now even lower. Cleared.
Nice one, bro. Nice entry, yaar.
Forward. The A site is their goal, and the plant's going to be in.
4 seconds of Jing lower. Ekjan B में खेलो.
A 2v4.
Amen.
Couple of members of PaperX tagged up, but certainly doesn't swing this in Wolves' favour. Have to overcome the odds here. PaperX just poised for anybody to step out. That's it. Finds a second.
Okay, it's not over yet, but YU's going to come into this as well. Jing's
See, I'm telling
down.
you,
Let's see if I think he's going to see both players basically. He's got to know where they are, but he can't do enough. A desperate attempt to get them back here.
Almost.
PaperX
That was a very good round,
step
bhai.
in the right direction.
On the brink of double digits. Again, as soon as they find, I guess, what they perceive as a point of weakness, they follow through. Wolves not able to even backtrack.
Right click, baby. Easy.
Well invested here for round 2 as well.
ये control कर रहा भाई.
Don't want to leave anything up to chance. Rifles except for Patman and Forsaken. Actually, Wolves set up in a little bit of a stack here. Flash in's only going to slow down the inevitable, it feels. Maybe toying with the idea of contesting that orb, but doesn't happen. I think PaperX probably smell
Yep.
something.
There's a trap around that corner, guys, I'm pretty sure. Feels weird over there. Something.
Rotate मार रहे भाई पूरा भाई.
Falls, it would be a prize possession garnered.
बैठे हैं अभी बाहर.
I was curious there if Forsaken was going to show some utility on the other side of the map, because it's
मैं
just
के बाहर ही
Lysol, but
बैठे.
Divine
अंदर
actually
आने push कर रहे हैं 1 2 3 4.
is calling a cancel on that.
That's one. There's more, and it's cleared systematically, one by one. The flash through of smoke is nice. See that BB is already noted as well. Can't really fall away from the stairs. Jing already takes the angle. PaperX
Jiggly करके मार दिया भाई इसको.
they are pulling no punches.
No, they're not. Again, showing diligence this time around. And that's when it really flips the switch. Wolves the ones to left, kind of to sweat in this scenario. Almost a second gets themselves, but Jing a third found and a 10th on the board for PaperX.
भाई उनके लिए pistol round भी तो बहुत जरूरी था, but
That's it.
It's huge for
Kind of
Wolves, and this bonus even bigger for PaperX if they can find it. Only the one casualty.
You're gonna cry, bro.
So they come into round 3.
they're gonna cry, bro. They're gonna cry.
Flushed out in terms of the inventory. And Patman actually just going to ride a sheriff through here. It's Forsaken and Jing closest in terms of this ult cycle.
Cover going out.
Nothing of note for Wolves, but potentially a pace change. Just initially, Forsaken going to retrieve one orb. Trying to retrieve one orb.
Yeah, couple times of asking.
थोड़ा सा और ले लेते हैं. 2-3 jumps और कर ले, बढ़िया
Don't
time
have
pass कर
control
ले.
over towards A main, so
ये तो मौज काट रहे भाई ये.
A little bit cagey as a start, isn't it? You can see the...
I mean, it's a huge ultimate to have in the bonus, so you know they're going to want to come for this orb.
Nice.
Well, here it is. They've taken the taunt.
And actually, Lysol and Spring do peel away.
Now they've cleared B main. If you're looking at Wolves' side, they cleared B main. So they might leave YU here, but you can already see that rotation coming in from Juicy. He's going to try and pop himself over towards A.
PaperX aren't dead set just yet. I think maybe going to prioritise towards short here to catch somebody out. They don't want to walk into this choke point.
No, and that's going to encourage to play forward, but
Nice.
denied. Forsaken with the first blow, and it could be a lethal one at that. Juicy. It's laboured, but job done, and Lysol does well. Tucked into hell, he tracks down another with him. The walls aren't done yet, but Forsaken captured and held in place. The spike now left loose. With 20 seconds, he's got to make a miracle out of this. 3 players forsaken.
I have this fight.
Not gonna get it. A lifeline for Wolves.
3 left standing as well, just an armor or shield to repurchase here for Juicy. Again, that was the bonus, so PaperX is going to come back in, and because Pac-Man only brought a sheriff to the party,
Spike down A. Spike down
it's almost rinse and repeat here. Not out of the woods just yet. Cannot get the ball rolling in terms of the comeback.
Come back, bro, come back.
But again, though, this was something that was said about BB was building up his players, right? Keeping them confident, trying to keep them in the game. He's going to have to keep doing that because PaperX don't stop. Even in their losses, they will still play confident games. Something taking space. Solo Endeavor, 2 players on the other side. BB and Lysor playing top mid off the back of that trip placed in as well. So they've got a lot to play off of here. Very difficult scenario. Pac-Man on that deeper line in case someone does swing. And it's got to be those early protocols being cleared.
I mean, it is a duelist's nightmare to play into this composition. But Lysor dancing with death here.
Still have that trip, so they can still have confidence behind that. They've read it wrong to an extent, right? They're kind of falling for this fade pressure on towards B main, but we know where it's heading. PaperX are once again eyeing up this A site. This is brutal. You got Juicy still here, you got Spring still here, but PaperX are right at the door now. And away they go. Something looks the wrong way and gets punished. Spring does well. Great paranoia too. Tries to slow the roll here. Buy time for these rotations. Pressure from main held back by the smoke, but Divide gonna lean forward. Lurch closer. Juicy play in the corner. Gets denied. Looks for the fall.
भाई बुलडॉग इतनी अच्छी है भाई.
But he's still breathing until then. Down to a 3v2. Man to the good for PaperX, and now Plant on their side.
भाई बुलडॉग बहुत अच्छी गन है भाई. बुलडॉग बहुत तगड़ी
maybe
गन
a
है.
little ahead of YU. Nobody from PaperX overstepping. They're tucked in right now.
Gotta see discipline.
Oh.
That's a shoulder shown. Some damage made. So they could know 2 players off of this. That
Forsaken on the
third
X-ray though.
is a problem.
Forsaken
That
is a
third being
problem.
forsaken, but they're losing out on the site. Couldn't quite get the follow-up. And PaperX
Jing baby.
sliding closer
Easy
now.
for Jing bro.
11 rounds
Come
to
on
the
guys. थोड़ा सा ट्राई कर लो. Jing है यार वो. Come on. PRX है वो. अलवा टीम नहीं है
Loss
कोई.
here for Wolves. Like I said, with the bonus being as well invested as it was.
बता के मार रही है वो तुमको literally बता के. कि आजा बिल्ड ले.
Oh, now seems daunting to approach this round 17.
Oh, you get that sinking feeling in your stomach,
Yes,
don't
for
you?
sure, yeah.
Your money's rotten. You haven't really found a way to handle PaperX. Maybe your chances existed and died on that first map, but they're not out yet. At 11-5 though, you can start hearing that music play, can't you? That 12th round looking likely, but in its way, with a couple of sheriffs, Ghost, and a team with a whole lot of hopes here. But for PaperX, they've got their own plan in mind, and that's a big investment and a big shot. Lysor lands it, so Jing's gone down. That's a weapon recoverable if they want it.
Yeah, PaperX actually aren't in a position to capitalize elsewhere. They're spread so thin. Spike not committed anyway, just yet. The man advantage will stand for the time being. No weapon recovered though for Wolves.
Oh. Nice from Pac-Man, big kill there on towards Juicy. And that knife should reveal at least one more, so do they turn away from this? Or do they just keep stepping forward? It feels a little headstrong for my taste, but it's PaperX, you kind of know what you're in for here. Lysor was the one to do the damage. It looks like they're trying to trail up towards heaven. Something bulldozer by you, great shot. 25 seconds,
Oh
my! Still standing, has to go above and beyond here. One down, he's doing the dance. Oh, it's so elusive and evasive to try and land those shots. BB was so far away.
Spike planted.
Pac-Man is low.
उसकी मॉली से
Oh, Hail Mary!
ओ भाई अगर उसका राइट क्लिक उसको पड़े आता ना.
I thought it was
yeah.
But 12 found, and the final stand has to be now for Wolves.
This time PaperX able to wait out, navigate their way into this defense. Get everything they need. It comes down to a fine margin. once again. Paper X undeterred in terms of the finances here. A couple of ultimates starting to rear their heads. Side of Wolves actually.
They know how tough this game is.
Just one away from some of these key ultimates, but we'll even get a chance to see them. Juicy, Fat BB, no command here from Patman.
Okay. Anti-setup though, which is nice. So they're still going to get a bit of a reward from this, right? It starts feeling very, very likely. Layers of ults though. Lysor could be in trouble here. Fat Baby trying to get on site, but Juicy goes unattended, unchecked, and he's rewarded. Great kills on 2. Finding more would be mythical at this point, but for Paper X, they are left in tatters. Mike, I don't know if they could do it, just these 2 players. Desperation play from Patman. Has got his man, but Wolves stave off what feels like the inevitable.
The neural theft being the catalyst for Paper X. They know they have to fight for sight then. I think Patman down to just a lick of HP.
Yeah.
No chance for them to sit back and try and defend that, but Juicy really the one to stop this from spiraling out of control. Second ping paying off there.
भाई 6 राउंड डाउन है ये लोग 6 राउंड.
Yeah, it does.
Still got ults though.
एक मैच प्लस 6 राउंड. उसके बाद भी देख.
A scary one with something. He's had a really good map here. Can they deny him now? Can they stop it now? Spring forced away, looking a little shaky, but something's fallen.
He's caught on the trip. Nobody broke it for him.
Which is a little bit worrying. That could be a tilter for him there, because that was meant to be their kind of, I guess, main part of the piece.
Yeah.
मतलब हर बार वहीं पे तो हो गया ट्रिपल
Nightmare for
थोड़ी.
Jules to play into this composition, but you really need that second or third man in line. Deal with that sort of thing here. Juicy deals with Jing handily.
A bit worried there that he'd found
not even trying to win this round,
gap
bro.
to try and punish, but not to be. So Paper X try and do what they can, and Wolves aren't allowing it. Patman does well towards sight. Fat BB still on the back lines. Doesn't need to overextend himself. Waits for the swing. Wolves control this well, Mike.
Double digits. That's where I'll start.
That's where we start. Yeah. So he takes 1 round. Paper X up to 12 here. And that is a frustrating one for something.
Yeah, again, just looking at the minimap, there's 2 members here down in Arch. The time that happened, and again, I'm not saying dealing with a trip and something goes wild there, but Bladestorm invested in that sort of round in particular. You never want to see a Jet having to invest a knife to deal with a trip, especially with 2 people in close proximity.
Find you.
But necessarily a big deal, all things considered.
Back to work though.
Looking for revenge up here.
Yeah, this time he wants in. Fat BB playing top mid. The rest of the team split throughout. A bit of a default coming out from Paper X. Maybe trying to catch some of the aggression. Jing's got to be cautious as well. Gonna spell out Lysor. And this is a creep towards A though. Look at the pressure. Spring's in potential trouble. Does have his paranoia if he needs it. Investment of the ult going to come down on the other side of the map though. Juicy's going to clear and give away. There's no one here, but they don't know about Jing. He's been able to slip ahead early. They don't know about Jing, and now you do. Like a knife to the heart, but Spring answers back. Trying to watch. Oh, Spring, you are a man.
Spring भाई ये ऐसे अंधा कैसे हो जाते हैं लोग?
But it is a 2v2. Don't think it's over yet. Spike is there. It's picked up. Sent back away. Plants coming in.
Look at the pit as well.
Oh my God, this is going to be down to the wire, isn't it? Divide disconnected towards A main. You have Jing tucked towards sight. Spring.
Just missed him.
The timing, unbelievable. Spring trying to play the game, and Jing now going to be doing the around of the world here, but they've given up position. This could be a mistake here, but they don't know about it. Obviously, they don't know about it. The pit's going to fall. And now you're looking at Jing. Divide strikes first. Why you? Hold on again. Can he take down Divide?
Oh, boy.
Out of nowhere. Wolves digging deeper.
Spring tees it up. Why you closes out with a Red Bull clutch here.
साले जिंग को बहुत ही ज़्यादा टहल गया वो.
I can't believe that. Look at this round. This from Spring.
ये बहुत ही ज़्यादा बड़ा किल हो गया.
You know it's a mad play when even Paper X don't expect it. You know that's a mad one.
3 bullets left.
Well, he deserved this.
That's the killer instinct I want to see, though. To be able to do that against 12?
Ooh. And I got to say, frustration, rightfully so. They give up the pit. They play themselves out of line of sight despite. Yes, it needs a miracle, but it's Wolves you're talking about here.
Oh, bhai, isne wo le li.
Still only 8 rounds. We said we start paying attention at 10. They've broken the bye, but it's still Paper X. They could do it with classics. Something seems so unwilling to let go of this mid pressure. He wants it so badly. So Juicy's got to be careful. There is a world where he could get timed on this one. Those stingers, very, very deadly. We're going to go down. Camera here. Doesn't need to overstay his welcome. Could do with some support on CT though. They do have an open path straight across. Divide going to deny that. No one's going to be able to help out YU here. Does get to at least evade the C's, but they are right knocking at the door. Paper X have a way forward.
No damage done just yet towards the side, but actually now YU going to have his hands full.
Oh, outdone! Paper X making something out of nothing, and maybe a mistake made by the Wolves. Plan's looking like it's coming in. You're looking at that late mid lurk as well coming out from Jing. Juicy tries to make something of it. Takes away Forsaken, but the number's still good. Paper X hold the advantage here. Divide could be timed in this though. It's all going a little topsy-turvy. And of course, this is the round to do it. Lysor asked so much of. 3 to 5.
भाई 350 निकाल लिया भाई. Yeah, baby, easy. क्या निकाला है यार? Paper X into the finals, bro. Master to the final.
Is now locked in for Paper X.
We still got one chance left, bro. We still got one chance
Elevation
left.
on the side of Paper X today, overcoming. Quickly become a fan favorite here in Toronto.
Nice
Still,
one.
got to come away from this series with their heads held high for Wolves.
Absolutely.
But Paper X.
थोड़ा चिल करना है अपन भी थोड़ा खेल के देख मतलब ऐसा गेम देख तो थोड़ी मोटिवेशन आती है ठीक है थोड़ा हम सिर्फ मतलब कॉम्प ही नहीं खेलेंगे बच्चों भी खेलेंगे भाई इनका फिर से सेकंड फाइनल है यार कमाल Nice, cute. Hope so. हमें कुछ अगला मैप G2 वर्सेस फैनेटिक है थोड़ा सा हम अभी एक गेम खेलेंगे उसके बाद ब्रो फॉर सेकंड में 2 मैप में 40 खेल लिया एसेंट में समथिंग दैट गुड क्रिएटिव था भाई मज़ा आ गया यार मज़ा आ गया लिटरली मज़ा आ गया भाई हम ना ट्राई करते हैं अपना कैसा एम लग रहा है ठीक है ट्राई करते हैं
My ultimate's ready.
My ult's ready.
सेटिंग्स ये सब हाई पे कैसे हो गई
out. Satchel out. Satchel out. Satchel out. Grenade! Satchel out.
यार मेरे को ना वो उसका बड़ा मन है जेट 9 ओ भाई एकदम राइट लेफ्ट होके चली गई पूरी
Watch this!
D1 भाई क्राइम कर रहे हैं रखने चाहते हैं तो एस्केलेशंस खेलेंगे उसके बाद देखते हैं कब मैच चालू हो रहा है अगला
Match found.
मैं खोल के रख लेता हूँ बाजू में ठीक है जब चालू होगा तो पता चल जाएगा बट बहुत ही अच्छा मैच अभी विटनेस किया यार अपन ने ठीक है पहला मैच
Death match. Warm up.
I find them. I kill them. Simple as that.
Fight.
Yalla, machina.
मस्त चाटे पत्ते भाई मेरे को मेरा वेट ही कर रहा है भाई ये मेरे को आवाज तो आई आजा भिंडे
3 out of 5. Hostile removed. Foolish. Eagle-eyed.
Ten kills remaining. kills remaining.
असली warm-up तो वही कर रहा है.
Enemy down.
One kill remaining.
हो गया क्या चालू? थोड़ी देर में बस चालू होगा, फिर अपन करते हैं.
Match found.
इतना इसमें कोई सेटिंग नहीं है. एक अच्छा मॉनिटर लेना है यार मेरे को. पता 144 है इसका, तभी कुछ हो पाएगा.
Death match. Warm up.
I'll teach them to respect their elders.
Fight.
Safety's off.
पे दादा इसको शेकी क्यों है? मुझे लग रहा है कि माउस अपना चेंज करके ट्राई करना.
Headshot. Gotcha.
ऊपर घूमे जा रहे हैं
Dominating.
Now we're cooking. Goner. Taken down.
Ten kills remaining. Five kills remaining.
Enemy down.
Dominating. One kill remaining. Dominating.
Who trained you?
पता नहीं क्या हो रहा है
Match found.
Scaling. अरे वो कैसे होता है?
Death match. Warm up.
मैच चालू हो गया गाइस
These guns we use are okay, but I will also bring my own. No offense.
Fight!
In we go. better. That's 3. Not your best. I don't think so. Away with you. Too slow. That's 3. And 4. That's 3.
भाई क्या करूं बताओ एक्चुअली इससे
You lose.
कैसे
10 kills remaining.
मैच चालू हो गया यार
5 kills remaining.
One less.
One kill remaining.
I win again.
अरे यार ये कहाँ से आ गई एक किलो अरे यार 39 3 जन मैच वो ब्रीच ले गया अलग से मैंने स्ट्रीम ही काट वही काट दिया मैंने ना वो काट दिया यार क्या होता है वो हाँ वही चलो भाई देखते हैं
Is in fact the opening kill. And blood's going to be drawn out. The G2 bodies are dropping. Not relenting though. G2 looking eager to try and take site control, but they've got a crossfire set to try and contend.
Oh man,
Jonah how are you doing that? Jonah P, drive by, swings by. And just like that, in a blink of an eye, it's Fnatic now that are on the back foot. What a plant as well. They're planting so that they can take heaven control. They know that at least one of these players is on the flank. Alpha going to try and deliver. Shoulder to shoulder, him and the IGL, Boaster himself, what a shot to connect. But anticipating it, Boaster delivering, and Alpha Boaster's on his feet already, round one. You'll be seeing a lot more. G2 almost there, turning around a 3v5 situation, but they just couldn't quite get it done. 6 shots towards the end, a bit of a freebie there as well. That's a rough one for Jorgamo. But these shots towards the end, Alpha hitting a beauty on Jonah P, untradeable. And then cleans things up towards the end as well. He's cooking. He's ever the showman.
A showman.
And having the fans so close at this event has just spurred him on to greater and greater showmanship heights. Absolutely. He does love it. He's talked in interviews as well, Boaster, about trying to just get the best possible results before he thinks about retirement. Which is mad. But he has been in the scene for such a long time, and his teams have been astoundingly successful. He's talked in this tournament actually about becoming the greatest leader of all time. I think if you made the list right now, it would have to be Boaster at the top. But he'd like another tournament here, just to properly seal the deal. Set it in stone. We're expecting a slow and methodical game from both of these teams. Gonna be taking their time with it. Might feel like a bit of a whiplash after you've come off PRX versus Wolves. Yeah, it definitely will. But both of these teams...
Fnatic for the win, okay guys? Fnatic for the win.
G2, they're going to be playing to allow their opponents to plant quite a lot. Make them bleed as they get into the sights. Head not popped over towards the ledge as Chronicle holding close. Catches the contact over the re-swing. He's going to be traded, but Alpha towards the back. The ghost in hand, and he's going to be buying time for the rest of the team to start to get in and get active. Kayak tearing them apart. Leash is going to try and do whatever damage he possibly can from this spot.
Has the spike in his back pocket, but no time really to work with. And Fnatic, ever the disciplined team.
ठीक है मतलब अगर ये 2-3 kills 2 kill 1 kill और ले जाते हैं तो मतलब थोड़ा सा तो डैमेज होता ही है ना.
Seen if he can bait somebody out. Ends up falling to the armor of Crash. He's posted up towards Spawn. So fairly clean at the end of the day. Fnatic managing to keep 3 decent bits of weaponry heading into their bonus round. And I think a lot of it's about figuring out what these setups look like. You can see little bait and switch setups. On the pistol round we saw that B trap play, where if a lurker starts walking towards B, they get hit with the paranoia and pounced upon. G2 are just going to be trying to feel this out. Figure out what kind of game Fnatic are playing. Where does Boaster want to give a little bit of space? Where does Boaster want to tell his team to fight? And this round, potential for a bit of a collapse onto Leaf if he does take that aggressive lurk timing.
Chilling for now though. Pressure from G2 up towards B. Door's going to be opened up. Should be a bit of fear into the back of your minds. Joggerman has a bullet to the back of the brain.
Joggerman is dead. इनकी आधी टीम तो Joggerman के भरोसे
खेलती है. Be careful. He's getting tagged up. Bullet tagged. Still alive though.
Shield to D. HP going
to clear this all way out entirely. Crashy's been dropped. Jonah P, even a watchful eye. Exploration of Fnatic is getting punished here.
Yeah, that's a bit of a weird push actually from Kayak. I think both players that died towards B there, Kayak and Jorgamo, probably could have played that situation better. But G2 end up slowing down the pace, hitting the brakes in a 4v3. This allows Valen to just test out the map again. Trent still has both of these salvos to work with too. So they could play a really powerful post plan. They are set up though to split into B, and that's exactly where Boaster's waiting with the Stinger. They don't realize A is empty.
Boaster close quarters here with a Stinger in hand. He's got the use of
30
seconds. Now they're going to run all over these players here. Fnatic.
It's
in the hands of Chronicle is not exactly set up for success.
It's a nice use there from Trent of just a solo salvo into that B connector, the waterfall, in order to push back the players. And he's still got a salvo to play afterwards. G2 want to keep this clean.
2 kill और इनकी economy
signs pointing towards it. Alpha is tepid, just tiptoeing in. Chronicle will be able to trade, but it's answered back in kind. So a round on the board now for G2.
Couple of players getting fairly close to some ultimates. Jonah P and Trent winding their way up to double initiator ults. It won't probably be online here, or if they are, it'll be in the post plant. But we've got a pretty important eco swing round coming up in round 4. Fnatic are going to go for an Odin purchase as well. Crashy's picking that one up to play it from tree. Aiming to do chip damage early on in these G2 players contesting rubble.
It's going to be a hail of bullets and lead. Sways him for a moment. Leaf is still propped up onto rubble.
I like it though. All of these sound cues are making it feel like Fnatic need to defend rubble, and instead G2 are creeping up towards B. And Kayak, he's got to defend.
Salvos pop open towards the door there. You blinds it as a back. Still G2. Oh, alley. You can't stand up to
Chronicles, baby.
Chronicle.
Spam मार दिया मैं इसकी
Perfect timing, even though Fnatic weren't 100% sure how that B exec was coming through. Does Crashes get caught just jiggling? If he did, it would open up the A site and make a 2v4 possible.
Just the timing on it.
Jiggly.
It's going to be very difficult for Valen and Leaf to dig themselves out of this spot. Fnatic are giving them room though, giving them respect, allowing them even to get a plant off. Assuming that they'll be able to win the retake with bodies and with the paranoia, with the C's, with the horn, tools that they still have to be able to work with.
Should be a clean retake indeed. Discipline still there from Fnatic. Wing it out. Jump spot of Crashies. He's missed the potential timing here. Just swinging wide. Gonna take that fight towards him, but smoke into your face, Valen. Has to really just try and get a move on onto the side. Away from him, but still player advantage. And the paranoia is beautiful. Splits them up with just the right amount of time, but no way.
Oh, भाई मेरे को पता था वैलन लेके जाएगा बैक. चलो वैलन क्या है भाई? सही में लिटरली लगता है मैं हैक करता हूँ.
But what a fumble! Too cautious from Fnatic, I think. Talked about the fact that they love playing to give their opponents respect and play the advantage in the retake. But the paranoia
pushed Valinoff onto an off angle, and they just weren't there ready for the trade. It was only Chronicle that swung through off Alpha's contact, and he only had about 6 health to work with. Fnatic lose a really important eco swing round here. And now the ult cycle is going to start to get online for G2. Assuming they can clean up an anti-eco, Fnatic might have just lost control of this defense half early on.
2v4 में भी मुश्किल हो जाता है retake करना.
Just off the back of the heroics of the
As
captain
such
of
कुछ clear
G2.
नहीं है, but aim fights full duel जीते हैं भाई.
Two of our
बहुत अच्छा
greatest
खेल.
minds in the game
G2
facing
of
off
course.
against each other.
Feels like a battle of the generations when it comes to the IGLs as well. Valen, bit of a new kid on the block compared to the experience of Boaster, but he's been fantastic, and Boaster caught out in the open again. That's twice already in the very first quarter of this map.
It's not full steam ahead from G2. There's still a level of caution. Fnatic are stacking this with multitude of bodies. It is the eco round.
Yeah, I think the read here from Valen is perfect.
Be careful here with a
Oh, what a shot.
Hands of Alpha. That's snappy. Quick scope straight to the head. He is taken care of, though. Chronicle still trying to at least square up, take a fight, posturing ever so slightly. Taking it with the off-angle play. Crashies is highlighted, lit up. There's no more. So G2 taking the lead early on here in Lotus.
That damage from Alpha, yeah, with the Marshal. It looks like Fnatic are going to need some more moments like that. What Alpha's been able to do recently in the game has been spectacular. And those are the danger moments that you need to be able to add in there. But otherwise, G2 dealt with that really quite cleanly, even though they went into the stack in the end. And here's the ults that we were talking about. But Fnatic, by saving, have managed to get Kayak an operator in his hands. Looking to try to get him posted up over towards A. That's where the Odin is as well. And only Alpha defending here on C. Pushed off immediately.
Salvos had to push off the early line. Also, hello, Leaf. Might get an early fight sooner than he potentially anticipates. He's going to play his life, try and back the hell out of there.
Oh my
God! That bait and switch.
Crashies, I think, made the call to fight with Boaster and didn't realize that Leaf also had backup. In came Trent. And down went the IGL again of Fnatic, who's having a rough go of things here. They still have the lockdown to try to play retake in one of these areas. Chronicle could actually pit off some level of contact, but it's difficult to get value out of the pit here in the mid-round when Jorgamo still has his dimensional drift to clear everything. But here it goes.
Yeah, using it nice and early. Just trying to spot out the most of these players. Don't know if he spotted the off. Yes, Kayak. Time to strike. Choose it well.
Nice one, Chronicles.
It's instinctual. The wall was up, just anticipating G2's positioning. It's G2 who are left with that player disadvantage.
Massive ultimates dropped on the side of G2. They can no longer set up a pit of their own in the post plan. So if G2 want to win this round, it's got to be proactive. I think Fnatic, they know it. Crashies and Kayak are waiting for this push.
Alpha sees it. Jorgmo's going to be backing away. Reclaiming the space now. There's an I4. Trying to lay claim to a lot of this towards it, but there's that up angle. A whiff from Kayak with how he's been playing. K damage kicking in. Gonna TP. Valen's barely out of there. Trying to play the crossfire setup. Chronicle wins his fight out, and that's going to be the lockdown to secure. Fnatic have all the advantages here. Everything in the world going their way.
And an investment of the ultimate just to make sure, just to absolutely guarantee that Fnatic are able to tie things up. It's a big recovery in this round from Fnatic. If they'd lost in the 4v5, would have been a disaster. But Kaya gets good value out of his op, and honestly, the way that G2 were utilizing the Yoru ult, Fnatic read the timings, and they just knew that people were going to start pushing up off the back of it. Chronicle has got great reads on that kind of stuff. He's been around the block, one of the most experienced, and one of the greatest players of all time. You look at accomplishments.
The accolades, man.
He's already got 3 trophies. If Fnatic can somehow pull off this lower bracket run, he will just be out miles ahead of everybody else with 4.
Making a serious case. One of the greatest of all time. G2 feeling pressured into the timeout here.
And I think there's been a pretty serious shift in Fnatic's defense now that they've got the operator online. They are still finding holes over towards A early on, but what G2 are struggling with is being able to take the site without getting caught by one of the Fnatic players who's just trying to get one and back up. It's not like Fnatic are trying to defend the sites to the death. but they're just trying to grab one G2 player and then back it up and always force G2 to be the ones that have to overextend and overfight and get the space and get the plant. Take a look and see what the adjustments are coming out of this tag timeout. Kayak earned his showstopper in the previous, so he can take more aggressive positions with the ult. Because if you get caught, pull out the ult, and you can often stop yourself from getting punished. So he's actually going to go maybe for a solo peek over towards B, which is properly aggressive. Oh no, backs it up early on. Just listening for audio cues.
A lot of presence though from G2. Prowler and a flash. Through the front of B, and that's triggered. At least the ultimate switch setup.
I knew it.
At the gate crash, could exit.
That's beautiful. Ult baited out immediately. Perfect value there.
मैं रुक जाऊँ ना थोड़ा wait कर लो थोड़ा तो मैं 3-4 बंदों को देख के उड़ाऊँ ना.
In which direction G2 would like to end?
थोड़ा सा info तो मिलनी है.
Another single salvo to try to push Alpha away. They know that Alpha loves to play this angle. We've seen people even pick up attack side ops to try to punish that.
Alpha feeling the heat, and he might be tested soon, but instead G2 go in a different direction. Doors opened up. He is caught for. There's lots of ults to try and help supplement this one here. We'll see how to get used to the util. Sees is excellent. Crashes. He's locked G2 down.
Jorg teleported into it.
TP pass.
And
wait with the Odin up through the high ground. Attempt there made. Chronicle just the one before the trade is in sight. Now with that pit, he's going to be laid down towards it. On top of it. Clearing out a lot of the extremities. G2 trying to hold on.
We needed fake kar bhai.
Alpha on the flank could be pivotal here. Trent, he knows that he's going to try to take the timing, calls for backup, and now realizes Alpha hasn't committed.
Repeat. Just gone down there. I'm not sure if these are just stray shots coming through. Alpha.
Perfect trade.
It's the one traded instantly. Now the drone and a connection spots him out, highlighting across the board. Leaf is going to back away, trying to play his life. Sliders of corner, snaps towards it. Leaf.
Of course. Kayak bhai उसने जो अपना वो फेंका है नेट फेक ना.
Perfect reads inside the pit there for a player who's well within the race for
यहाँ waste किया पहले तो.
Look at how tight the timing is on that one. Jorg just escaping with absolutely no damage done. Crazy kill on Jonah P there too. But what I like from G2 is that they were hyper aware of the threat of Alpha here on the flank. Alpha is going to be playing C aggressively, and when he opens that door, Trent and Valen doubled up to deal with him. You've got to put two guys on Alpha at all times, and even then, Finesse will tell you it doesn't always work.
Yeah, Alpha perfectly capable of taking over. We've seen it, especially in their prior game. Risky setup here, but necessary. It's a half-by round for them. That is sharp. Over towards the mound, though. This is about to be a bloodbath that's occurring, and it's all going away. Surely a Fnatic gets evened out into a 2v2.
Leaf, though, he caught the perfect kill on Boaster on the other side of things, and now it's all on Kayak with only a Bucky. I mean, he's just begging Valen to walk into him. If he doesn't, how is he going to take the kill?
Scurry of the footsteps. Valen is hyper aware.
And at that kind of range, Kayak, unfortunately, as good as he is, doesn't particularly have a chance. We were talking about how dangerous Alpha can be, and that setup over towards Mound almost found Fnatic a turn of the fates. The shots were good, but the weaponry, I don't think was quite up to scratch. And once again, actually, this kill, where Leaf is able to pick up Boaster,
ये बहन का
Boaster's kind of...
साला खुले में गेम मरे जा रहा है Boaster का ना.
Yeah, and I think that is actually
कितना वाहियात खेल रहा है Boaster सही में भाई.
Is that Boaster's frequently getting caught out. He's 2-6 right now, but it's not necessarily about the scoreboard. He could be playing, you know, those kind of numbers and be playing a great game, frankly. But at the moment, he's trying to hold important positions on defense and getting caught out by unexpected timings. And I think that's going to have to tighten up if Fnatic want a chance of being able to win the rest of these rounds on their defense half at least.
A timeout taken for Fnatic to recoup.
हार जाएगी ऐसे पता है Fnatic.
2-round lead so far for G2.
ऐसे ही खेलेगी तो.
It's well within the realms of being able to recover, but when you say it's a 2-round lead, Fnatic also won the pistol here.
Yeah.
So, you know, out of the other 6 rounds that we've seen, when Rifles have started getting on board,
I mean
G2 have
2-1
been very consistent. And this time, no operator in the hands of Fnatic. They don't have the wealth to be able to put that into Kayak's hands. And once more set up to go for some kind of B split attempt. The spike headed up here and a potential for a wrap through blue room.
Potential for a brawl as Fnatic is stacking 3 bodies. Trying to retake some of that rubble control away from where Leaf has just been lurking.
Leaf, he kind of needs to kill that Prowler to create the threat that he could still lurk.
And it's a pop in play. They want to try and get a move on here. This is G2 trying to see if they can lay claim to that B site. Still rain down a hail of bullets. That's just from Boaster. He's going to be supplementing the fire, just trying to make it nice and awkward for G2 while a flank occurs.
Do they have enough people to be able to deal with Chronicle? There is massive pressure on Leaf right now.
Tested. Only just a 1. This is Fnatic now. This is their time to shine. They've got a lot of control now towards B main. Flip at the site though. G2 looking to try and take this one up through heaven and a reflank of Valen, but time needs to be played. It's already taken away. And it's up to Trent to see if he can delay, but smoke in your face, what really can you do from this spot? Timing is taken into a 2v2. They're going to know where these players are. To smoke, obfuscate, hides the intent. Kayak, he's there swinging through, seals it up nice and pretty for Fnatic.
ये तो लड़ कितना अच्छा है ना
situation there towards the end. A couple of the G2 players left in the clutch, and it almost looked like they didn't know where the plant was.
G2 वालों को पता ही नहीं plant का है.
Alpha swings through, but it's this flank play that made the difference. In previous rounds, Leaf has been escorted into rubble at the start of this round. He got pushed out immediately. He got caught by a Horn, Prowler, and that gave Fnatic the confidence to be able to double push fully out through A and get the rat play working. The more they can get the read on that, the more they can actually figure out exactly where Leaf is on the map, the better their defense half is going to look. And they've knocked G2 down onto a light vibe, but this squad is diabolical with the Stingers.
Certainly are. Alpha.
He's so far up.
Well, really far up. It's going to be a paranoid blinded up, and there's already players on your tail, just trying to hunt you down, Jorgamo. It's close quarters. It is carnage of what's occurring. Alpha decayed, caught up into the corner from the seas, and Valen was very quick, able to take up most of that space. The pit has to be vacated. It's a wasted ult from Chronicle.
Snakebite easily could have claimed a couple of lives there, though everybody on G2 was weak, but that was chaos. Alpha, with the wrong read of what was happening, they thought it was going to be an A-side default again, and G2 have found an opportunity to pick up a couple of weapons and slow things down a little. It's looking more even now.
Lurk smoke from G2. Praying that Fnatic would go for some form of re-exploration, clearing up the map.
And I think this is a really important situation where you've got to look at Boaster again. He's going to be doing this jump spot. He's been caught out in positions like this, throwing smokes a couple of times. He's got to make sure that he maintains this information.
He's gone forwards. Trust the advantage, he's got a read, and it is a good one. A solo player, Trent just trying to condition with that drone. There's the punish, Kayak.
Nice shot, Kayak.
Back. Alongside Chronicles, a stalwart defense. The lock and key here, there's only one left to stand against the Jonah P. It's messy, it's scrappy, but Fnatic are up even.
And I think it deserved pop-off there from Boaster, because it's something that he struggled with a little bit so far in this defense half, but he played that situation beautifully, didn't he?
भाई ये पहला 10 सेकंड 1 सेकंड ऐसा chaos था ना
timing on the drone and catches Trent as well. So not only does he get the kill, he feeds full info to the rest of his team. Guys, this is going to be a C re-hit. 100% this A pressure is fake. And this is now an even half, 5-5. With arguably better ultimates here for Fnatic to close out on defense.
Door's going to be opened up. This is G2. Attempting a bit of that slow siege.
That is so much damage onto Jorgamo there as well. I think he would have been aiming to pick up an orb in this round, see if he could get the ultimate online. 4 players from Fnatic over here doing a re-clear, full re-clear of rubble.
A lot of util. You see that paranoid, you see the haunt.
Could be the timing to try to activate somebody like Leaf on the other side of the map, but Alpha's waiting, and here's...
Just as the turret gets broken, Kayak is looking for more, he's stunned up and misses it! Trent just cleans him up!
That's amazing from Jorg and Trent!
All on Boaster now though, feeling the heat. It's a paranoia in your face, near-sighted. Plenty of bodies about to be coming towards you. Nightfall avoided, Chronicle. Again, the spam over the shoulder. Curtain raised up. Wall of his own, just trying to stunt it. G2 though, looks to be dismayed, trying to get a bit of a move on, trying to claim that A site. Moving forwards, that game of time, it's Chronicle. Gets the better of the adversary.
He's been really good so far. Chronicle, a pillar for his team to rely on. G2, they feel like they have to be the ones making the play. Health disadvantage is so huge, but look at the wrap. Look at Alpha, yeah, already aware of the possibility.
Yeah, this lockdown, drop down should be sealing all of this one up, except Alpha oversteps himself, and lockdown's going to be broke down regardless. Chronicle layers down that snake bite, and now there's a timing to be taken. Fnatic getting a run on, getting a scurry on. It's been stuck to have, heads are popped. Chronicle dismissed entirely.
Another round for Valen where he comes through in the clutch, and my god, what a call as well. Dismantling Kayak's ult. Oh, it landed on the pillar too. Tragic the way that splash worked. But it's the final call, this double wrap up through heaven and around behind onto Alpha. Alpha decides to swing aggro on a timing, thinking that it'll catch them off guard. And maybe doesn't account for the fact that they're both going for the flank. And the fact it was perfect for heaven as well. It's a really nice way to play that situation.
जो कल वुल्व्स के साथ खेलेगी और परसों उनमें से जो जीतेगा वो पेपर एक्स के साथ
sending it flying forward here with a dimensional drift. Made this feel like a lot of A pressure, and our bodies behind it. G2 looking to at least take this space. Doors are open wide. Paranoid already expended most of it using it. This is Anarchy. Crashes to leave from behind. What a good work put in though, and now it's up to Boaster to do the rest. Odin in hand. Obliterating G2.
Incredibly aggressive swing there from Jorgamo.
Forwards, no committal. Just looking for that information. Potentially is here for Trent.
Alpha worried that he's getting flanked from B main, even though the turret is actually watching it. So I think Alpha probably could have just stayed over here. But Chronicle is tightening the net at all times.
Toxins going up.
Putting a squeeze on him now. Already revealed to the side there. Chronicle, easy cleanup. 6-2-6 at the half.
A strong recovery in this half from Fnatic after it looked like G2 were running away with things. Big round from Crashies as well in round 12, as Jorg was hunting him down from behind. I think this implies we've got a great game for our hands now, even things have started here on Lotus.
Yeah, competitive between these two juggernaut teams. All the way through, 6-2-6. Could not ask for a better start to the series overall. Unreal stuff. We're going to send it down to the floor. Vansili is standing by with G2 Hammy.
Thank you so much, Brencho. I'm joined back on the floor by G2's own Arabian Stallion, Hammy. Hammy, how has Toronto been treating you so far?
Honestly, Toronto's been amazing. The people here are amazing, and just like, yeah, overall great.
What about the event? You were telling me you were walking around the venue the whole time, checking out the activations and everything. How's the experience right here in Masters Toronto?
The experience is amazing. I mean, like I said, the people here in general, they're just like lovely to meet and all that, but yeah.
That's us, man. That's Canadian. We just love hugs.
Yeah, I do.
Let's get back in the game though and talk about G2, because you're basically the honorary sixth man for G2. Talk me through the Tejo from Trent. Why is he bringing it back?
Okay, I mean, I feel like Trent gets too much disrespect. He doesn't need Tejo. It doesn't matter who he's playing, he's the best initiator I've ever seen play the game. But yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I just wanted to hear from your words as well. And also tell me why G2's in the golden era and why they're going to win this series against Fnatic.
Yes, we'll be winning this series. Not only this series, we'll be winning the entirety of Masters, I think.
Oh, the whole Masters.
We will be winning Masters, yes.
Okay, and so Wolves coming up next. You think they're going to have this easy against Sufat Baby and crew?
Yeah.
Okay, and last but not least, I want you to give encouraging words. But not least, I want you to give encouraging words to the G2 players playing up there and also to your fans around the world.
Okay, honestly, G2 doesn't even need it. They're going to win. But I hope everyone's doing good. I mean, that's all. I don't know what else to say. But yeah, I love you guys.
You got it all. Hammy, thank you so much for your time. Let's toss it back to the game.
Two teams here that are just neck and neck, and honestly, even just looking at the map pool itself, we have our opener with Lotus. It's an interesting one. Listen, Modest was kind of talking about it when it came up as well, because it's a great map for Fnatic. It's one of the ones that they've been lights out on all year.
Yeah, it's at the top of both teams' map pools, and I think you really get a clash between both of the callers. Opposite sides of the spectrum, actually, in terms of results. You can see reflected in the Coinbase Econ report. Chronicle having an amazing half. Boaster struggling a little bit. Valent's at the top of the scoreboard, actually, if you're just looking at kills as well. But I think more than productivity, it's going to be the game plans that are going to make the difference here in half number 2. When I've been looking at these teams,
I think
G2, they play for retake a ton. They're on their defense half. They've been winning almost 40% of them. Fnatic are winning post plants 83% of the time. One of those stats has got to give today. Is it going to be Fnatic closing out these rounds cleanly?
Placido Styles. Leaping into the fray across for that info. Leaf, break the Prowler, back himself out, and it is slow and steady for Fnatic.
They are the slowest team on the attack side that we have, but they're extremely diligent with it. They use the time to make sure that they dismantle trap plays. And yeah, it can get tense towards the end. The clock can sometimes be Boaster's worst enemy.
Oh!
Yeah, Alpha might be his best friend.
What a crisp shots, bro.
What an opener for Fnatic.
Bench Stokes, bhai.
I mean, that should be signed, sealed, and delivered on the pistol round. Fnatic with a potential here, a great opportunity to win both pistols on this map. And that can make all the difference in spots like this where both teams are good. Jorg might be going for a bit of a re-exploration over towards B as well. He's just trying to backfill this space. But it's all on Valen to defend here with one Paranoia. Are they pivoting into B? Actually, maybe Jorg will get his chance.
I do. They want to try and go for the B here. There's only 25 seconds left for Fnatic. What is the call? Bit of a scramble, but they're going to land over towards A. No one really there to meet them. Valen might take a few risks of his own out towards the blue room, and this is all covered in time. Kayak is there.
Smooth.
Cutting down his two
Fucking
players.
smooth.
It's a pistol round. The back pocket here for Fnatic, and like you said, it could make all the difference in a map like this.
Absolutely flawless. I mean, the damage from the first hit, collapsing through onto Jonah P. And then how clean Kayak looks with these shots coming out from his ghost afterwards. It's a beautiful round. It's clean, it's sharp. I mean, Kayak, I think you should probably give credit to your newest player. It's going to be tough for G2 to recover from this kind of situation. You will sometimes see them force, even on defense, but this is not one of those times. G2 just playing for money in the bank. Another really important thing to pay attention to between these two teams is who has more of the utility once we get into post-plant scenarios. In the previous round, hello.
Yeah, they're gearing up. It's a Paranoia in the back pocket. Primed by Valen, looking for signs of life at the spam. Surely that's it, but they're actually waiting for a little bit further. There it is. Now the go button's going to be called for, but that Paranoia did not connect. Chronicle. Unbelievable form. And Alpha.
Bro.
On clean-up duty.
Hyper confident.
भाई third fourth bullet error वाला आया भाई उसमें मैं भाई मारे यार उस पे है aim उसी पे है तो लेकिन
trying to get cleaned up.
Nice for the class to give it a damage, surely, but the round nevertheless here to Fnatic. Chronicle is 19 and 10.
It's
been amazing. He's just been so calm. And like I said earlier, he's been a rock that the rest of the team can rely on in these difficult positions. He's not making the play to change the round necessarily, but when G2 force the aggression into him, he just collects it and absorbs it perfectly. You can't get past him. So Fnatic with a bonus round, but a bonus round that they've also forced an attacking operator into.
Punish Leaf, he's been peeking this one often. The defensive setup is different. G2 making changes to it. Quick dink there through Mound. There needs to be some call for help. Shot wide and through. Leaf is on essentially single digits. Barely alive. Eventually going to be kicking in.
Both teams getting a read on what's going on here. Fnatic realizing they're fighting super heavy over Mound and trying to react into A and realize they got caught by the drone there. Decide to hold on for a moment. But G2 also got the read that there's an attacking op, so they'll have to be hyper aware of areas that Alpha's going to try to peek.
Door opened up here by Chronicle. Bit of fake pressure, trying to pull some of these G2 players. Done so successfully.
Yeah, it's really nice. It pulls all of the attention from the defenders towards the door and frees up this re-exploration towards Mount. This was the area, remember, that G2 were fighting over, so it's likely they would have left.
Second thoughts here for Fnatic, looking like they wanted to end over towards C, but despite now, it's way over towards A.
Maybe overthinking it just a tad here, overcooking.
30 seconds left.
30 seconds left.
Jorgamo not budging, Leaf even just lying in wait.
There's 4 players defending this area of the map.
Yeah.
Are they pivoting B and trying to connect with these guys through the door?
Maybe. Door's broken. No clearance onto the corner.
Oh, that was so good.
Not on my watch is what he's saying. As an attack side operator, but time is still becoming a bit of an issue, and shots are rattled. You can feel it. It's getting hectic. It's getting messy. Trent cleaning up onto Chronicle. Time is against them now. It's fully against this Fnatic squad. G2.
और सोचो अरे इनको आचल में है ना लगे ज़्यादा दिमाग लगाने का तरीका.
They almost got punished for it as well though, Brent. That round is on a nice edge. You see Chronicle come through from tree and he's got players running away from him. I mean, the fact that Leaf also gets caught in this situation, the Guardian barrel just sticking out slightly, but it's this kill, Trent onto Chronicle, that I think really changes the game, because G2 then can commit fully to the retake and the flood. And Josh is begging them to play time at the end there because there was no opportunity for a plant.
Very fast play to be made. That operator picked up into the hands of Leaf now. Punches Kayak.
Yeah, I think it's a great call to go for the defensive op for Leaf, because they know that Leaf is going to be on this line. They're trying to punish him with marshals, with attack ops. And if he's got a long-range weapon of his own, he can hold it down.
Just got to be careful here. Spots the body. How do you want to play this one? Backs himself into a corner.
He does have a little bit of support from Jonah P. And one of the things that this G2 comp is really good at is being able to passively regain information in the mid-round from the Tejo drone, from the Prowlers, from the Haunt. They have used all of those now, though, and only Jonah P's Haunt will be coming back later on. Chronicle just sticking around to try to break that. Make it feel like they could be going for a C re-hit. There's the Haunt, though. Chronicle breaks it. But the shot comes from so far back that G2 already have the read anyway.
Well, it's going to be seeing signs of life definitely occurring now.
Cover going out.
A long con here for Fnatic, just trying to earn up a few of those ults. Really working the map in the process, and they found themselves a slight gap in towards B.
Fnatic have been ending with these B splits a ton. I think G2 are fairly ready for this. Jonah and Jorg.
Jonah sat down onto the side here, spots it, catching the contact, a bit of spam as well. Comes through, this is Alpha and Chronicle. Lane claim over towards this site. To B in the plant now to go down, nothing to push this away.
Crashing's managed to upgrade to a Vandal. Can he strike a dagger blow back to his own region?
Huge upgrades. Stun. Has to be sidestep Leaf. Just snaps at the crash. He's an off angle by Chronicle, baiting out with the first shot. Now you're going to see that discipline coming through. G2 never without it, and it has brought it level 8-8.
Both teams played well, honestly. Just at the end of the day, a weapon difference. That's a sick kill though from Leaf. You can see that Kayak, he knows exactly how Leaf wants to play it, and Leaf is still just daring him to come and challenge. Fnatic have a lockdown to try to work with here. Difficult to counter, but G2 pretty happy playing the retakes as well. Stacking 3 bodies over towards Mount, expecting Fnatic to go for a punish of Leaf.
And Leaf is holding it. They want it to feel like it's just Leaf with a bit of solo pressure. Way ahead of this one, still they're going to reveal their hands. So rifle shots ring out. Even trying to see if he can punish somebody going for that jump spot, but holds out into the open, counter spam. It's Kayak trying to get the punish online, but
he was believing in the Haunt maybe a little bit too much, just stood into that Omen one way, got caught. Feels like G2 have been winning a lot of these opening duels.
First blood बहुत तगड़ा मिल रहा है G2 को पता.
Drone's going to be expended for the re-clearing walls on walls.
And because Fnatic keep losing this fight over towards Mount, G2 can stack 2 bodies B, 2 bodies A, and be pretty happy no matter where Boaster calls the team to end.
Tight to the corner, Jorgamo has the escape policy.
Alpha detected over here by the Haunt.
Just trying to spam we might expect it to be, following the traces. Well, still going to be alive for now, 41 health.
And in a 3v5 like this, you don't really want to invest the ultimates from Alpha and Crashies unless they can find a pick beforehand.
30 seconds left.
But look at the time. This is one of the problems with how slow Fnatic play. You get into spots like this where you're down and you're not really in a position where you can even make a play to turn the round. This is just going to be a save that waiting out the clock, and it's not a high energy way to end a round.
No.
It feels, I've got to imagine, a bit
left.
brutal to have to give up in spots like this, especially because it allows G2 to then put pedal to the metal and try to punish.
Oh.
And that is such a punish. Looked like
Leaf
Leaf is
is
just
too
running
good,
the
yeah.
operator in to its doom.
To his demise, though. 2 rifles intact for Fnatic, and that was the goal of it. You're right, it's a low energy way in the round to think about what's coming next.
Yeah, there's that moment, one way finding value. George just spots Kayak, who's trying to get value from the horn. Like, you can see what Kayak's going for, but it's difficult amount.
भाई मार्क करने के बावजूद उसने मारा यार.
I think it's desperately needed.
Nice
They've
shot,
got both
yeah.
pistols in this map. G2 didn't respond with a force at all, and yet they're still behind 8-9. And they did do a good job of getting back into the map in their defense half. Here on the attack side, though, I think one of the largest problems is they're never actually pushing G2 away from mount.
Yeah.
And if you don't have mount control, if Leaf is always getting information over there, why would they ever want more than one person on C? And that makes it way harder for Boaster to call. Might be time to change the tempo around coming out of this tag timeout. Fnatic, they do have some fast rounds in the bank. They're not a team that do it very often. But running something a little quicker might just add that shift up that you need to be able to get back into the game.
Scrap together a buy. It's a bit rough. Boaster's going to be left with just a stinger, but you're right, the tempo increase. Could be what they ordered.
Doesn't look like it though, does it? I mean, looks like
pretty
they're going to
spread.
try to play for a little bit of rubble control. I mean, maybe the coach is telling them to take the shift into fighting for A control instead of mount at the start of the round.
Trying to take this one, overwhelming with the bodies in the util. Setting Balan up onto Rubble. He is revealed towards the tail end there by their own horde, so Fnatic get the information.
And I do like the smoke that Boaster goes for over towards Rubble, but it's just been cleared immediately by the salvo, and G2 weren't really worried about it.
Exchange of the stray shots.
Leaf has actually been pushed back this time though.
Yeah.
Not too much contestation, and a nice smoke from Boaster just right on top of Leaf's face. And suddenly, G2 don't have the same level of information over towards C, but they're still playing C soft for retake and stacking bodies on A, expecting this reclear, and they are so right.
Played up. Strength, jump spotting, potentially sees it.
Nice shot.
Trying to get a move on, trying to get a run away. Just obliterating the opposition. It's
distract हो गया, वो distract हो गया.
See if we can make a little bit more from it. It's going to be fainting. Getting a bit of a run on. It's
no way.
Time, there's no way.
Oh my Jonapi.
Safe pair of hands. Jorgamo.
Spike planted.
In his hands, trying to go for it. Flick of the wrist does not connect. Way to exit other than having his ult, but putting it in this spot in the 2v4. Not wise.
No, he's still
even getting the wrap around.
He's still going to be able to afford an op in the next round anyway, so
Last player standing.
when Joel gets caught. Fnatic getting it up to 9 here, but I think really you've got to be looking at how G2 executed in some of those moments. They had the right read. They knew that it was going to be an A reclear, but they didn't have somebody taking contact well enough for Valen to play off this. Kayak snuck all the way back in off the back of Chronicles, Viper Wall. And then I think you could argue the execution here wasn't great either. Jonah finds the timing, utilizing the fact they're on land. It's difficult to hear these kind of footsteps, but he can't land the shot. And Alpha shuts it down. Alpha once more is going to go for the attack side operator here. Taking a peek. Seeing if he can punish a jump spot on A.
Same explosion of util from G2 looking to take control towards A Rubble. This players up.
This smoke is a really nice adaptation. Coming out of the tactical timeout. It really has neutralized Leaf and allowed them to regain mount control. I mean, look what it's done. You got the pull from one of the rotates. You've also got this gate crash and spawn as well to try to support Leaf. And it's just softened up the A side of the defense. Really good macro adjustments from Fnatic's coaches.
All grouped up now from Fnatic though. Trying to push players off away from A. Robbel and just trying to take it slowly, steadily, but still that bullet raining down. Jonah P is there. Preemptive, and that's going to be a tag onto absolutely everyone. It's the information they were looking for. You see him push it out by G2 across the board. Leaf.
You really think he check me over?
It's a dangerous spot as well for Chronicle. He gets support from Alpha now, but he's the one with the spike.
Nala broken. Leaf will respect it. Off onto the corner. This is 25 seconds left. Where is this ending?
Poster's trying to fake as if it's ended towards B. I think the spike should be headed to A. And that means Jonah has a chance for redemption after his failed play in Tree in the last round.
Spike's disjointed though, they've already got players in and through G2. We're going to try and front defend this one all the way. Dimensional Drift spots it all out. No guessing game whatsoever. 9 seconds, and it's all dropped down. It's all crumbled. Fnatic, Chronicle. It's cheeky with the kills. Consolation
Bro, ये इतना लेट तक खेलती है ना. कोई फायदा नहीं है इतना लेट तक पहुंचने का भाई.
Second time in this half that G2 have won based on the clock. And you won't see any other team in the tournament that loses as often as Fnatic. The EMEA team tend to be slower. But Fnatic, honestly, they take it to a whole different level. And they're getting punished here. Trying to work the map as much as they possibly can, but not taking the right risks at the right time to try to push things forwards. And G2 have knocked the economy down on Fnatic. No, they decided to go for the force buy. They've got everything up here. Fnatic's eco is still doing all right. But 3 of the players are on light armor.
Investing into it. Salvers towards the back. Robbel Fnatic are grouped up though. Flash overhead. No signs of life from what G2 can see.
Yeah, passive kind of setup. Not looking to go for the reclear, the refight G2. But why would they need to? I mean, Leaf has still got pretty good information over towards Mound. Jonah P is getting them info on B as well. They're set up quite nicely right now for an A or B finish.
Paranoia is going to be sweeping through, dissecting this B site. Go either way though. Okay, lockdown. Drop down into the corner now. One salvo is going to be weakening it, but not enough damage to really do the job. They clear most of the way here for Fnatic.
This plant is almost destined to go down, and my eyes immediately go to this flank that's coming around the back. Leaf might have an opportunity, but it's going to be so difficult inside Chronicle's pit.
And look at a draw. G2 to try and play retake into this one, a bit of random spam perhaps. Fnatic should be set up to bring it level once more to the post plant. Util is even available. Again, bullets raining down. Not much cover. Fnatic will take it. Paranoia nade, ricocheting, rebounding. Tons of util at their disposal here. They've completely shut G2 out of the picture. Straight kill from Leaf.
They're also going to do crazy economic damage to Fnatic because they're just essentially trapping them in the site. One escape path found though from Crashies and Kayak. So at least 3 guns are going to be maintained here. G2 never really committed to that one. Definitely felt like there was more opportunities for G2 to go for spam, to try to get inside the pit and make something of it. When Jorg got shut down, kind of gave up the ghost. And Fnatic draw things level again at 10-10. It's actually a rough buy here for G2. Guardian for Jorgamo. Valen only with a stinger.
Yeah, big brawl. Signs of it. It's a season of it. Jorg's TP just not in time to save him there. Kayak. Wonderful opener.
Nice. Seen that previously too. Jorg, he tried to go for the teleport in the moment, but was just a little too slow on it. That's a great start for Fnatic. I think they've really struggled with the opening kills.
Very proactive from G2, looking to try and push all the way out of Robbel. Using a Paranoia, even expending it, but this is being held All the way further back, crossfire setups. I think good for them, and G2 realized that would be an overextension.
I think all of that pressure, though, that was on the flank, as G2 pressured forwards, it actually pulled the defenders back, and it allowed Leaf to get set up on C properly.
Jovi's still staying around. It's going to be smokes on smokes. Hiding the intent of Fnatic. Has to be respected. Horn's not going to be broken.
Drop the spike.
He's still going to be sticking around here with 40 seconds left.
Trent has salvos, and he has the ult to be able to work with. Boaster needs to call for them to accelerate at some point here.
Tempo needs to be increased.
He's trying to bait out the salvo or the ult, but this spike is miles away still.
25 seconds left.
Surely this isn't going to be another round lost to the clock.
You're only just making a move over towards it. G2 still have bodies over towards you. Jonavi's going to be here in most of this, and that's the Armageddon. As soon as doors opened up, the slightest of pockets to play inside. And all the way forwards, Jonavi has to be that line of defense. Moving now, 8 seconds remaining, but G2 reinforcing the site. Still time left. Alfie is going to try and defend this one. Defend it, he will. Pat is down. Wincon potentially there.
Oh my sahab, that he's done, bro. Oh my god, bro.
What a ridiculous round from Fnatic. I don't think they should have ever been able to get that one across the line, but it's the individuals that power their way through.
Kya hi round tha bhai.
All against them. Yes, they got the early kill and set themselves up in a decent spot, but they were just barreling towards the site, desperate to try to get something going. And again, the superstar, I think, is Alpha, defending crashes. Leaf a little too slow to be able to deny.
एकदम उसने हमसे बीजे कर दिया भाई अल्फा ने. आजा
He
बिल्डे.
wins that 1v1 towards the end, even with Leaf holding for it.
आजा बिल्डे. Oh
Josh
भाई.
is not happy about that. G2 have taken attack timeout instantly afterwards. 3 situations where the clock has been bad for Boaster, and 1 recovered. Chronicle and Alpha, the players that have been by Boaster's side through thick and thin, winning multiple tournaments with it. 26 and 13 for Chronicle, 23 and 14 for Alpha, Everybody else on Fnatic, negative. I mean, Chron and Alpha are trying to deadlift Fnatic through this game.
The backbone. This entire map has been on a knife's edge all the way through. Fnatic, though, the ones finding it. Potentially the straw that breaks the camel's back if you are G2.
Yeah, I think that could be the round that you look back on that really made the difference. Josh is expending his timeout, maybe expecting not to get a chance for another one, frankly, because G2, it was a bold pick taking Fnatic to Lotus, but they may have been punished. Losing both pistols and not being able to stop them on the clock there. Valen steps up with a stinger to try to see if they can win a miracle round and draw things level again.
Gonna make this out, Leaf. Indeed, catches the Prowler. Leaves Valen inserted. Tiptoeing around the map though from Fnatic. They're gonna be looking to see if they can re-clear out towards C-Mount, Satchel across. With the rifles here, ooh, Valen barely able to escape and exit. Drone used for a bit more information. G2 just trying to clear up most of the map. Fnatic, slow game of theirs. Definitely applies the pressure evenly here to G2.
And 2 players posted up towards Rubble. I'm not sure whether Alpha's calling for them to go back towards B. No, it looks like the spike's going to make its way towards this setup from Jorg and from Jonah. There's a seize.
All broken. Jorgma respects it. Okay, Gatecrash is probably running out.
I mean, at this point, G2 are just trying to play the clock again. 30 seconds. You have C's, you have flashes.
Getting to delay. It's up to Fnatic to try and get a move on here. There's a round you cannot afford to lose. Not against the weaker weaponry. G2. Sidestep, Nightfall, going to be avoided, at least for now. Util flying forward, sees, not quite a connection. Paranoia sweeps forwards, Boaster's there, ready to take the fight and lay claim to most of this site. He needs some help when he's at it. Kayak drifting into it, trying to take the fight straight to them. And it's a bloodbath up towards heaven. One away from the ult. Kayak is going to be happy with that, and the last one spotted out, rooted out. People just look to do some damage here, and Kayak's been set up perfectly. Showstopper for round 23.
shows you that the composure is still there for Fnatic. Not getting rattled towards the end, still trying to optimize even the smallest bits. And that could be an ultimate that's a game changer and stops G2 from being able to pull off a comeback. Both of these teams have got good mentals. But G2 are going to need 2 really clean rounds here, even against the ult coming out from Kayak. Jorg and Trent have been really good at denying value from Kayak's ultimate when the sides were swapped. But I think a Showstopper's exactly the right kind of tool to complement Boaster's slower calling style, because it will allow you just to open up the sights towards the end of the rounds.
The speed up entirely. G2, they don't want to be budged. Draining themselves here. Leaf and Valin out towards C Mound. Stray shots forwards, but now here's the pressure. Fowler broken. Stray shots, you know that Valin sticking around. Leaf. Valin eventually going to concede that space and give it up. On either side is a deep drone and a deep push. G2 getting active over towards A.
Alpha, yeah, has a little bit of an opening on B. But this fight over towards A could define the round. Alpha's in on B.
Yeah, Alpha is completely cracked over the B side, and now putting a squeeze, a pincer play over towards A. All that aggression of G2 was just dissipated. They're the ones left scrambling. Showstopper down. He's tagging into the clone. Jorma will get it, but Crashies is there. Cleans it up. 3 players left to stand here. Boaster with the plan is going to be sticking this safety in the back of his mind, because Crashies is watching it all. Leaf slipped his way in. Found that timing and that gap. This is it, surely. Fnatic on the cusp, on the brink of taking map 1. G2's map pick, it's all on to Leaf. 6 bullets left, timing not there. It's a 13-10 to finish here for our opener between these 2 juggernauts.
And it's a deadly duo for Fnatic to finish things off. Alpha and Chronicle, the last left alive to pull Fnatic up.
शुक्र है भाई, पहला मैप तो जीत गई एटलीस्ट। ये तो मेरे को तो बिल्कुल भी उम्मीद नहीं कि ये कुछ कर पाएंगे। अग्री थी लिटरली अग्री। चलो गाइस, आई थिंक Fnatic is gonna win. किस्मत अच्छी हुई तो, नहीं तो G2 का कुछ भरोसा नहीं भाई, कुछ भरोसा। चलो यार, I'm really tired right now, ठीक है? अब हम सोएंगे, कल मेरे को जल्दी उठना है, काम हम करना है, थोड़ा बहुत वो सब करेंगे, ठीक है? चलो, bye bye guys, good night. Those who join, thanks for subscribing. Please subscribe, like करना, share करना, ठीक है? Thanks for joining. कल हम आएंगे, कोशिश करेंगे थोड़ा जल्दी आएंगे, 8:30-9 बजे तक। कोई फ़ायदा नहीं है जाने का, या तो पहले थोड़ा बहुत खेल लेंगे, फिर अपन मैच देखेंगे, फिर खेलेंगे, ठीक है? कल बेस्ट ऑफ आएगा, फिर इतने लंबा चलेगा, ठीक है? चलो, सो बाय बाय गाइस, गुड नाइट, टेक केयर, खुदा हाफिज़, बाय बाय।